I missed 10 by 1.
It's been a journey, man.
Hey guys, Bobby Thompson here with another episode of Jiu-Jitsu and Coffee. We're on to episode 9. Today we have our host is going to be Brenden Secor. I'm going to be sitting in the passenger seat, and our guest is Alex Abreu, and our ghost co-host is running late. Maybe she'll join us, and we're going to go ahead and get started.
Teenagers, bro, they sleep in and shit.
Yeah. Well, we had a good time last night.
Oh yeah, dude. All right, so we're back here again. What's up, Alex?
Hey.
I think I know you. Hey, you're so cute. You did your hair for the podcast.
I did.
I love it.
And I put a button up too.
So I found something out about you last night.
Uh-oh.
You fucking wreck lumpia, bro.
Oh, it was so good.
do you like not get enough of it or what?
No. That's not something I go out of my way to go get.
Yeah.
But, well, when you're drunk too, everything tastes better. But that lumpia was good. And the sauce.
Yeah.
The sauce was fire.
I rarely drink alcohol, though. So
Guess you're drinking it right now. Right?
It's Florida iced tea.
Oh, yeah.
So shout out to whoever brought it, because I don't know who brought the dishes last night for the fight. And by the way, we're talking about the UFC 229 last night. We did a big thing here at Xequemate. It was so much fun.
I think we should talk about that.
We're definitely going to talk about it. You know, that's on the back of my mind. Friday night, the Quintet 3.
That was fun, too.
We're going to talk about that. So, I'm trying not to co-host things. So there's some of the things, if you want to stay tuned, we're going to be talking about Quintet. Grappling, new thing that's going on. We're going to be talking about UFC and McGregor fight last night, and then there's some other fights that are pretty good. Interesting things that happened. People's balls got hot. We'll get into this, right? But Alex, man, how long have you been training jiu-jitsu?
About 8 months now, close to 8.
Yeah. And
started here in Xequemate.
And you're how many? What's your belt?
White.
belt.
First white belt guest here today. What's up?
First white belt guest?
I think I'm the first
It's a
white belt
huge
guest.
honor. That's right. That's a massive honor.
It's white belt mafia right here.
In all of history, you will forever remain
the
first white belt ever interviewed on Jiu-Jitsu and Coffee.
I think that's clutch.
You're welcome.
It is.
Thank you.
Yeah, I picked you. We kind of get along. I mean, I unfriended you on Facebook.
You did do that.
But I re-added you.
Does Coach know about that?
I don't think so.
It's kind of douchey.
Yeah, so we were friends on Facebook, and then I was messaging him stuff, because I guess when you're unfriend someone, you can still use Messenger with them. And then I was looking for a photo that he had shared, and I couldn't find it because we weren't friends. So I'm like, why did you unfriend me? And
this all came out at his first competition, by the way, which I went to go support, because I absolutely think if you're at Xequemate and you train with these people and you build a relationship, even if you're not going to compete and you've got the time, get off your ass and go fucking represent.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I did unfriend
You unfriended me.
I go through these stages of life where I'm like, you know what? If I saw, and this is what I tell myself, I was like, if I see you out in town and you're my friend on Facebook, if I fucking dodge you, like, I'm not going to say hi to you, why the fuck do you need to see, like, what me and my kids are doing, you know, or my stupid shit that I've
Yeah, but that's not why you unfriended me, you said.
Yeah, because
You said I was mean to you.
You're a cop.
Whatever. That's what and I was. So Brenden first shows up. I mean, it's kind of like being in the military. Like, the new guy shows up. Like, I don't know you. Like, I'm not going to be nice to you. You might quit after 2 or 3 weeks. I'm not going to invest my time in being your friend. But then you stuck around, and then, yeah, all right, cool.
Okay, I get that. Well, it's all been said.
Yeah, now we're besties.
Whoa, Jason's your bestie.
What? He's not here right now.
You might offend Jason. He could hear this.
Jason. So we haven't there hasn't been a nickname associated to you yet. We've like been floating around.
I'm leaning on Noob Noob.
I like
I'm
Noob
leaning
Noob.
on Noob Noob.
Okay.
I've heard Unicorn Guy, Clark Kent.
So if for any of you that have like watched or listened to the podcast in the past, this is Boogeyman. This is the booger guy. So you're welcome.
Day one. That was
Day
day
one.
one.
He could be the boogeyman. He could.
Well, there's already 10 Planet Boogeyman.
I could see him.
That's a
wanna
good
call him
nickname.
Booger. Is that a good nickname?
I kind of like Noob Noob.
Noob Noob. That's,
I like Noob Noob. It seemed
Rick
like
and
Destiny.
Morty, right?
Yeah, because Coach is my Rick.
It's even on his license plate. It says Newbie.
It does say
It says
Newbie.
It says
doesn't it?
Newbie on it.
Noob Noob. Okay, I'm down with that.
I like Noob
Yeah.
Noob.
Plus, it'd be ironic to be really good, like the irony in a name of being like a solid black belt, and your nickname's Noob Noob.
Yeah, or like being called tiny and you're like 6'9".
Exactly. Yep.
Noob Noob.
Kind of motivates you.
All right, cool.
I was told I was a giraffe once, training jiu-jitsu.
Nah.
Yeah, I was told I would forever be the giraffe, and the person who told me that told me he would forever be the lion. And then I switched roles on him.
And started massacring him.
Yeah,
It's good
it's
stuff.
a good day.
You'd be more like an octopus.
I am. I evolved from a
I
land
did call him
mammal.
one. Yeah.
to-
I did call Bobby Thompson because we were rolling. Probably one of the first or second
I
times.
feel like he has like 2 or 3 extra limbs.
Yeah, there was. We were rolling. I don't forget what position we were in, but all of a sudden there was a foot over here. And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Where did that fucker come from? Right? Yeah, Bobby's legit, man. We've been rolling. We started he started covering my mouth. And we just busted out.
I've been doing that. I just want to say I don't do it a lot because like there is a. But if we're friends, like that's how you know we kind of transcended another level because it's kind of funny because I fuck with people when I roll. Like I think that's fun. I think it's fun to talk shit and like
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think if you're friends, that's what you do. You fuck with each other, right?
Absolutely. And I got him back like shortly right after I was covering his mouth. And I'm not gonna be a dick about it or be a douche, but
I think it's funny.
yeah, it was funny.
If you can get me like that, dude, I'm gonna crack the hell up. I am.
Yeah, we both kind of busted out laughing. I don't even think I tapped. Like I think we just reset after that because
It's funny that you say that. Like I prefer training with people I'm closer with because it's not that like, I'm not scared that I'm going to hurt him. It's weird. Like if a new guy came in or something, I started rolling him, I'd be a little hesitant because I don't want to offend anyone or anything. But like someone like Jason, Wyatt, like me and Wyatt, like we go hard in the paint and like
Spider Monkey.
Supernova. I think Supernova's
Supernova,
for him.
okay.
But yeah, we'll catch each other in the eye by mistake, but we're not worried that we're gonna get upset with each other. Like Jason too, like he heel kicks me a lot in the face.
Yeah,
Those are fun rolls.
accidents. Nikki busted me in the eye. Well, when I went back and looked at my video, it was I headed butted her. So and I felt like really bad after that. But yeah, my eye got split open. It was no big deal.
No, yeah.
Like you don't
Put some dirt in it and you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. All right, so Quintet 3. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I was there.
Friday night.
Well, not there.
You're
I was there at Casa.
You're on Craig Jones' team.
I was on Polaris.
Team Polaris.
We had Craig at the school.
Yeah.
We got to roll. I got triangled by Craig. And when I went into that match, when he was gracious enough to roll with me, I'm like, I only know that there's one way I'm not going out, and it's by triangle. Because
How many seconds?
triangle is my shit. I mean, that is my shit. You're not gonna suck me into a triangle. I know every setup in the world. I've been master triangling people for 15 years now, and he fucking triangled me. But it took him some time. It took
Did it?
Yeah,
It wasn't
it wasn't instant. It was in my defense. Just thought I'd throw this out there because I know I'd wreck Craig Jones if I didn't have keto flu. So in my defense, I was like a week into my keto diet, and I was just dead. I rolled with like a blue belt just before that, and I was
No energy.
I couldn't even hang with the blue belt, but.
You should call him out, get a rematch.
I should. I feel like I deserve a rematch.
Yeah.
I think I could have took him easily.
How does all that? How does all that transpire? Like I was thinking about that the other day. Alex sent me a picture of him and Craig Jones. I sent him back a picture of me and Gordon Ryan hanging out and training. But
You need
You
to
were
put that
leaner
on the
then.
screen.
You were-
I was a
you were a
little
lot
leaner. I
leaner.
was I was in a weight cut
Yeah.
for a fight. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not lying. I photoshopped my face onto. God, I don't even remember his
You
name.
need to superimpose the image now.
Superimposed my face just because he was a dick and sent me a picture, an actual picture of him with Craig Jones. So I had to get him back with
That was like my second month in jiu-jitsu right there.
But that's a thing that people maybe that don't understand or just that you're not training. Do you fucking roll and you train with one of the best in the sport and in the community? How many times can you go say, oh yeah, I went toss the football
Yeah.
with Tim Tebow, right?
Yeah.
These whatever. There's a seminar fee if there is, but that's so that dude can travel and eat and train and get supplements or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the cool thing about jiu-jitsu and training. And
I've had professional fighters show up for seminars of mine. It was like, I think that's pretty dope. Where when I was in Europe, I had a couple good fighters train with me. I thought that was super cool.
My question, Bobby, though, for you is like, how does that transpire? Did you reach out to him, or does he?
Jason did, right? Didn't Jason
What?
set it up? Get Craig Jones
Oh,
over
Craig
here?
Jones. No, you're talking about Craig.
Yeah, sorry.
Jason lined that up.
Yeah.
I'll let anyone come to my school. And I tell people, dude, come. Everyone's welcome to come to my school and give a seminar, as long as you don't want to hit me up with a flat fee. You try to hit me up with, you say, oh, okay, $2,000. I don't know if 20 students are going to show up or whatever, at 40, whatever. It's like, you're getting paid good money. If you don't trust in your name, don't come to my school. I mean, you're worth what you're going to draw. I'm not going to take anything. Come to my school, make some money, have a nice payday. We're going to have some fun. You're going to get paid. If you're coming through, even better. You have a place to stay. But some people are like, yeah, $1,500. It's like, bro, I'm doing you a favor. You're getting paid to come here. You know, don't put the onus on me. You know, it's your name. You know.
Did you get a cut from that or anything or no?
No.
Yeah,
I don't take anything. I think those guys work hard, and I'm happy to learn from them. And everyone's welcome. But it does frustrate me because it frustrates me because I've reached out to several. I've actually reached out to quite a few different people, and I kind of got tired of reaching out to people because I'd reach out to someone and go, "Hey, man," and I'd lay it out in real cool terms. You know, if you're coming through. Right. You know, maybe you're in Miami and you're going up to North Carolina or something. You know, squeezing
Flying
a night.
into Jacks, maybe.
Or just we'll pick you up. Just drive right through and give a seminar. And then they reply back and like, oh, okay, $2,000. I'm like, $2,000 for an hour and a half of training? That's rock star pay. You know, well, maybe not rock star, but and maybe you will get that. Maybe you'll do better. I won't take anything. But a lot of these guys you reach out to, they want a fee. Yeah.
We had a lot of people for the Greg Jones. I remember. I was intimidated. Like I said, it was like my second or third month training. It's like, man, there's so many people. And I was lost in the sauce. I'm not even going to lie. There was some advanced stuff, but it was great.
In 2006, me and some friends, I was a blue belt then, and me and some of my longtime training friends, we paid to bring in Marcelo Garcia for 3 days. And that's when Marcelo Garcia at the time was the man. He was the man because today it's different. Like today, jiu-jitsu is a little bit more factioned, if you ask me. You kind of have this no-gi scene, and you have this split where no-giers are like hardcore no-giers now, and it's like they may dabble in the gi, you know, and then you get the hardcore gears. You got the IBJJF gi rules, and then you got the Marcelo Garcia was wrecking both scenes back then, like. He was the unquestioned god of jiu-jitsu. He was the ruler of both realms. So, you know, he was the legend, and we had him in our school, and I got to roll. We had him like 3 days thanks to Todd Williams. Todd Williams lined all that up, but we got to roll with him. Well, at least he was in town for 3 days, and but we did get to do some good rolling with him. That was cool.
That sounds legit.
He didn't pass my guard. You know it's true.
Yeah, man. Oh, and did you know about Bobby Muta Triangle?
Who?
I'm just going back to it because Bobby was like talking about he's the Triangle Man. I found out a couple of episodes ago that his nickname back in the day was Bob Muta Triangle. I thought that.
Oh, that's pretty legit.
For years, for like 7 or 8 years, it was known as the Bob Muta Triangle.
It's pretty cool.
It's a legit nickname.
It's pretty cool. I don't know who came up with that.
So tell us about you. Like growing up, where'd you grow up? You joined the Navy.
I was originally from Miami. My parents are both Cuban.
I thought you were Mexican. Well, same thing.
Oh yeah, right.
Now you speak Spanish.
I do speak Spanish.
I mean, are you comfortable? Like, can you speak it like we're speaking now? Like you can just holler at someone in Spanish, no big deal.
So it's weird. It depends. So like with my family, I'm more comfortable speaking it, so I'm more fluent. With non-family members and more professional atmosphere, I get nervous because I'm scared that I might not know the word I'm supposed to say.
Because we have some Spanish-speaking guys here, and I'm kind of like always waiting to hear you interact with.
I have a couple of times. I saw them struggling with the move, and I came in and I started speaking Spanish, and they freaked out too. And I started speaking Spanish. Like, you speak Spanish? I'm like, yeah.
Oh, okay, I missed it.
No, yeah, but it depends. Like, it really does. If I'm a little more intoxicated, like
you should work on sharpening it. Like, if I were you, I would get every movie in Spanish. Like, if I'm gonna watch a movie, I'm gonna watch it.
It's funny that you say that. I've been watching Netflix series in Spanish, which is clutch because it's English subtitles. So if I don't catch the word, I can see what was said. And then I started with my iPad, downloading some Spanish books, just reading it because that's the only way you're gonna learn is to immerse yourself in the language. And I don't have any Spanish speakers. My wife was like, "Oh, go talk to your mom or dad." I'm like, "No,
it's not the same.
It's they'll make fun of me if I mess up a word or something."
It's super dope when someone speaks a second language. Like that's mad dope. And like I lived in Europe a few years, and everyone there speaks like 3 languages. Yeah. It's like, are you dumb? You only speak 2? You know, it's like.
Well, I got a joke about that. So like, what do you call somebody that speaks 3 languages? You know, trilingual, right? Somebody that speaks 2 languages is a bilingual. What do you call someone that speaks 1 language? An American. You know?
That's true. That's fucking. It's true. And then
sad.
I grew up.
No curse words in other languages.
I grew up in Kentucky, and we never heard other languages spoke. Never, not in Kentucky. You know, and I remember the first time I ventured to South Florida. And first gas station I went into around the Fort Lauderdale area, and I walk in, the dude starts speaking to me in Spanish, and I was just like, what?
Yep.
I couldn't comprehend. First off, that he thought I might even speak Spanish.
You do look Hispanic though. I got a cousin that you guys should be brothers. Like he's
Yeah,
tall
I
and
see
white.
it. I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, you met him, right?
No.
No?
But I see that because there's like legit like white people that, but
Yeah.
they don't speak English. They speak Spanish. My first time in Miami, same thing.
Now, what's your heritage?
So I'm half Filipino. My mom was
So
Filipino.
Chim's asked me like 5 times.
Yeah.
And she thought you were Spanish.
I thought so too.
So Filipino, Polish, and shit, I'm on the spot. Brain dump. Because I don't know who the fuck my dad is. Well, I mean, I talked to him, but he's a fucking dickhead. I suppose he's like a millionaire and shit, but he won't talk to me. Because he's rich. He thinks I want his money, but fuck you, dude. So his family was from Poland. They came over, so Polish side, and then my mom. Mom's mother was Scottish, and then my grandfather was Filipino. Came over here on like a cruise ship as a steward. Like,
really?
Snuck on the ship. Yeah, like his family in the Philippines, Visayan Islands. This is a story I get that they wanted him to go into Catholicism, like be a priest, and he's like, "Fuck that, I'm out, bitches." At like 17, he jumped on a cruise ship and like as a steward, and then made it to Seattle, Washington, and there he like joined a band. And I don't know, that dude was legit though. Like he played a bunch of instruments, right? Was in different bands, and had like kids with like 3 different women, right? Like dude was busting out. So like I had a bunch of uncles. They've all passed, and then they sprawled off and had kids, and like now I consider like my family is huge, like a big family, and it all started from this, this dude back in the PI jumping on a cruise ship and, meeting some like rebellious Scottish woman who was a dancer, I believe. I don't know what they call them. I forget what my mom told me what they call them, right? But you go into like a club, kind of similar to our story before the podcast, right? And you, like a cigarette girl, they called them, right? And you'd pay for it, and you guys would just dance together. It wasn't sexually involved back then. It was just dancing. And she was like one of those, and she fell in love with. I think she was married at the time and fell in love with my grandpa. And boom, now here I am, because that's my lineage. But it sucks that you can only go back so far, right? You know what I mean? Like this is one generation.
Well, you know what I think the future is going to be? Like, listen up, people, because I can predict the future. And I think, see, what you don't when you sign on to Facebook, and you're not going to think about this, but they own everything. Mm-hmm. If you typed it in Messenger, if you typed it to a friend, if you posted it, they own it, and they can do whatever they want with it. It is not yours. And you think about that, like that is like the journal of your life.
What if you post that?
No, what's going to happen is
No,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Later generations are going to be able to buy
your
right, like their relatives or just anybody's. I think like your son's going to say, "Hey, can I buy my dad's?" And then he's going to be like, "Oh shit, he was hollering at hookers left and right." Like, he's just going to be going through.
Look
your
at these gay memes.
He's trying to get in all these pants, man. I think
just don't download my Messenger history.
No, they're gonna have it all. I believe that. I believe they're gonna have it all. Everything,
if I die,
every
delete my
photo,
Messenger.
everything. That's huge money. That's huge money for them, and they own it. Why wouldn't you do it? Like, why wouldn't Facebook do something like that? Of course they're gonna do it.
Absolutely.
Maybe they'll have some rule where you have to be a relative. Maybe, or maybe the rule is you have to have been dead for 20 years. But it's going to happen.
There's something I signed up for when I was going through, because sometimes I get bored and I'll go through the whole security thing, and like you could set it up to where you have like a specific relative that can get into your account if you've passed away.
Yeah.
None of my relatives have that access, by the way. My account's going to die with me.
Yeah. So. It'll be sold. It'll be sold off to the highest bidder. Or to every bidder.
Yeah, because I've deleted Facebook a couple of times, which is the equivalent of running away from home now.
But you can just reopen.
Yeah, you just open it back up, and it's like nothing
You
changed.
can't delete anything.
Yeah.
You cannot delete a Facebook account.
That's insane.
You can disable it, but 10 years later you can go back. I unlocked one like 5 years old. They're always there.
I don't know if MySpace is still out there. I tried to get back into mine.
I couldn't remember my password or anything.
Boom, jinx.
That's a time capsule right there.
Yeah.
I've went back to mine a few times. You're like, damn, that's crazy.
Well, just the memories too on Facebook. Like I see myself these statuses I did 5 or 6 years. Like who's this dweeb, dude? Like,
dude, let me tell you something. You don't realize it. Like I was The other day I found I took all the VHS tape I'd made kind of growing up. I was lucky enough my dad bought me a camcorder, you know, and I saved it all to I converted it all to, AVI, whatever. Yeah. And I hadn't watched it in like 10 years or 15 years. Or I don't even think I did when I converted it. It's probably been like 30 years. It's like from me in Italy, and I thought, man, I'm going to post some of this on social media. I thought this people get a trip seeing me, you know, what I was like. People only know me as older Bobby, you know. And I thought, let me go look for some good footage. And I was like, that dude's a fucking dick. Dude.
Yeah,
he is a dick.
I was gonna say I'd probably whip my 18-year-old ass.
Oh, hell
man,
yes.
I wouldn't. There was no way I was posting it. I looked for anything good, and like anything that came out of my mouth, like I would grab me by the neck and rape choke me today. Like I was like, that dude's a fucking arrogant.
The sex.
Dick. He's a dick. Yeah.
All right, so UFC 229 last night, bro. Oh, Conor.
Your boy lost.
My boy lost, but God, he looked like shit too.
I think
like not only did he lose, but his grappling looked like garbage.
Lost is a very gracious term.
Yeah.
Lost, yeah.
Yeah,
Lost, yeah. He got raped.
But the irony of the fight, right? It was the last moments of that completely fucking, like, all your kudos. And that was something I learned in the Navy, like it was boot camp shit, right? All those attaboys, one all shit can take away all those attaboys.
Yeah.
So now I watched the post conference, right? Khabib is like, he's probably gonna get, he's definitely getting fined. His visa might get pulled. He's gonna get, they didn't give him his purse, so he made no money off of that. Yeah.
Do you know what his purse was?
No, they wouldn't say.
Do you know what it was? $2 million. Connor's was $3 million.
What?
Yeah.
And they gave Conor his first.
Yeah, no, Conor. Well,
but a video came out today.
Came out him punching first.
Yeah,
right?
he started swinging first, which probably why he didn't want to press charges, because he started it too.
Well, it's too late. He got paid.
No, yeah.
And Khabib will more than likely get fined.
Habib.
Huh?
You're calling him Habib.
Right. Well, and the
right.
reason being, right, everyone, there's Khabib, but I watched all his like embedded videos on UFC Fight Pass, and he did an interview, and he was like, "It's Khabib, not Khabib."
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's why I've been calling him
cool.
Khabib. Yeah.
Sounds
So,
too.
but but you know, and I'm not trying to correct anybody. I don't give a fuck. You know, like I just listen to what I listen to. So if Dana called him Khabib after, but coming up to it, he was, and Joe called him Khabib. The announcers called him. Anyway, that was just a small thing I learned. But yeah, now he's gonna face the Nevada board, right, and probably get his license, a big suspension, and you know, and it all depends on how long that suspension is.
Dude, he jumped off that fence like a gorilla. I don't know. I watched
Gazelle.
that. I watched it. You had the 6-foot fence, which was up on like a 4-foot stage, and he just jumped off of it to the ground, and it was that was pretty impressive. Like I couldn't do that.
Yeah, three of the crew got arrested.
Yeah, but they let him go.
Right, because the charges got dropped.
Let him go.
But going back to it though, like, was it worth it? Like, his dad's gonna,
Do you think a lot of this is scripted though?
They
too?
said Dylan Dennis was talking shit.
No.
They said Dylan was yelling shit at him.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that justified it. I'm just saying, like, he jumped off there to like square up with Dylan Dennis because Dylan was talking shit.
Right. Probably talking shit.
And Dylan is a shit talking mo. From what I understand, I could be wrong. You know, people have, but that's pretty much the consensus out there.
I remember when
he got kicked out of Marcelo Garcia's school. He was one of Marcelo Garcia's black belts.
Wow.
If memory serves me correctly.
But how quick we forget when McGregor threw a metal dolly through the bus.
And like damn near blinded Namajunas, I think, if I'm saying her name right.
Right. And both two idiotic things, you know, but look what happened to Conor.
If Conor got a slap on the wrist, then Khabib should get a slap on the wrist. And honestly, Dana should get a hold on his show because he promotes this. Like, he rewarded Conor with this fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, Dana should get fined.
He won't.
Yeah.
He won't. He's got all those guys in his pocket too, you know, and he's feeding.
He's the instigator in the background. He wants this circus, like, right. That's what it's turning into.
Yeah.
But back to the fight, I don't think McGregor fought well at all.
No.
He was just outmatched. Like that was a beautiful display of grappling, right? Like grappling can neutralize the best striker. Yep. You know, there's always there's an exception to every rule, but in general, there's so many fights that I remember when Hoist, I was his biggest fan at the time and still a big fan, but when he came out and just tried to outstrike Matt Hughes and was honestly doing a good job, but I'm like, man, he lost the exchange because Matt went in on him when he was striking. It's like, what, why would you change what's been working so well? I hated when people did that. I hated when BJ Penn started trying to be some boxer. It's like, dude, you have some of the best. You won worlds at like 5 years in. You know, you were a ridiculous, one of the top grapplers in the world, and he wanted to become a banger. You know, it's like,
well, he was a scrapper in Hawaii and like where he grew up.
But it's not your. He's good at it. Yeah, you're good at it, but it's not
your go-to.
It's not, you know, your strength, man. Cater to what you're good at. Like I might become a decent striker, but I'm a grappler at heart. It's what I want. You know, it's what I was designed to do. You know, but
yeah, but the NASCAR fans out there don't appreciate the grappling.
Yeah, all the booing and everything.
Yeah.
I never missed, you know, when you bring that up, when I think of NASCAR fans, Americans, that's what Americans are.
Right, and that's what I meant.
And if you go back to it, like I would have never missed a Pride, and I never did. I never missed a Pride live and before Japan Vale Tudo, before Pride, when they fought, you could hear a pin drop, and it would be blasphemy to separate a ground fight because the Japanese are intelligent enough to appreciate what's going on. And Americans just want to see someone punch someone in the face. Just punch him in the face. It's boring. Boo. They don't. You know, it's like, dude, it is mad technical on the ground. Mad. It's a game of centimeters. The battles that are going on, and we got these uneducated people out there who have no appreciation. I think that's awesome that you can have 60,000 Japanese in the fan who aren't saying a word. You can hear a pin drop because they want to see how who wins this exchange in grappling. And then you got Americans that just want to stand everyone up.
Well, and it's going to what you know. And obviously, America's really big in boxing and everything. And like golf, right? Like golf is boring until you try playing it a couple times and you appreciate, man, how hard it is to hit that little ball 150 yards on a green. You know, once you start playing golf, then you can actually watch a game of golf and be like, oh, you're appreciating it more. And I think the same thing with grappling. You know, like my wife says, it's aggressive cuddling, you know. But once you actually start training, you appreciate what they're doing. You know or at least you think you know what they're trying to do, and you can understand it better. And like baseball too. Baseball's super boring unless you played it, you understand it. Like it's the same, and I get it. Like people want that blood gladiator stuff, but it's not good. It's not good fighting.
Right.
It's entertaining, but it's not good.
The really frustrating thing about standing someone up, if I owned an organization, it'd be different in these two ways. First off, there would be no rounds. Have a 25-minute fight. Every time you stand it up, you change the outcome of the fight. Yeah. Secondly, secondly, I would never stand it up. Sorry, I'd have a 25-minute round, so there'd be no time limit, and I would never stand up a fight. So those would be the two things.
Let them keep going.
Yeah, just let them keep going. Never the ref should never interrupt. Because every time that round is stopped, I've seen people getting beat up at the end, right? And just they're losing, and then they get that break and they come back. I'm like, yeah, but you just changed the entire outcome of the fight. That's not how the fight was going to end, you know. But you know, in fairness to both of the fighters, two fighters that fight 10 times are going to have 10 different outcomes. There's, you know,
but like you're
except
saying,
for Khabib and McGregor, that's always going to be the same.
But I mean, like hitting on what you just said, it's true. Like every time you got to that position somehow. Yeah, they might be traveling, inside joke, but it's true. Like you got them up now. Everything now the takedown has to start all over again. The other guy that had the takedown might not get it again. So you're absolutely right. It's like a brand new fight, and they should do that. It should just be one long fight, and you forget time limits.
Yeah, because what about the guy who has the better sprawl, and then you get versus the grappler, and the grappler got the guy with the better sprawl on the ground, and he has him under him, and now you stand him back up, and you got this wicked sprawl you got to go through. It's not. That's not what would happen on the streets or in a field. You've changed it. You've given you're catering to another guy's strength, right? And I fully understood that in my first MMA match. My only MMA match. I was approaching. I think I was right at 40 when I did my first MMA match, but. Yeah, I got stood up many times, and it was so frustrating. And it was like I worked so hard to get, and the dude I was going against was a good grappler, but he was a phenomenal striker. Like he kicked me off my feet a few times. That was some shit. I was like, damn, man, this guy had kicks.
Well, my first competition, I was super sick, and I was gassed quick, and adrenaline was kicking in, so I definitely went red line way too fast, not knowing any better. But they stopped the fight a couple times to readjust us. Man, and I ended up winning by points. But if those 2 stoppages didn't happen, I would have lost. I know without a doubt I would have lost because those 2 stoppages gave me time to catch my breath, to relax. He had to fix his gi, so I'm just there chilling, breathing, and then I was getting that little second wind in me. So absolutely, like I think if you're trying to mimic a real fight, you're not. Nobody's going to stop a fight unless it's over.
Yeah.
So I agree with that statement 110%.
One of my tactics, just rolling around with people in training, is I've got to gas, like the people that are definitely better and more technical than me, I've got to gas them out a little bit so that I can get, I set myself up into a position where, I can try to submit them, right? I've got to bring you down to my level or get you more tired, right? So a side mount, whatever, side control. I mean, it's kind of a tactic. So when you say like a 30-minute round, though, that kind of reminds me of the Kazushi Sakuraba and Hoist fight. Like I Hoist wanted that with Sakuraba, like a no round as long as we can go fight to the end. Yeah, and we know the outcome of that one.
Yeah, he told me that on that he actually broke 1 or 2 bones in his leg. I want to say tibia or fibia or so. He broke something in his foot or leg. It's been a long time now, but apparently he broke a bone. Right. So
he was in pain.
Yeah.
Because conditioning is a part of fighting too. Like if you can't have the conditioning to last, then that's your hindrance of the game. Like I'm not saying I can last 30, 40 minutes, no way. But I'm saying like
you give up from my toenails.
Well, yeah, because you don't cut them. Take a strap away from this guy too, by the way.
I cut him the other day. I was thinking about you. I legit I was gonna go straight to school, and I was like, no, let me go home and cut my toenails.
There's some dude out there somewhere who's had his cornea sliced in two by some gangly toenail. Right? It's happened. There's.
Colin had a story about Pedro, like not his toenails, and I'm not banging on Pedro, bro, because obviously he's the shit. But he was saying something like he came across with a hand sweep and his nail like sliced one of Colin's contact lenses. Yeah.
Oof, that's close.
Right, like accurate ninja, bro. Pedro's a beast. I saw Luis posted 2 pictures. IBJJF.
He won his first. I think it was his first absolute. You see, he double golded. He golded his weight class and he golded absolutes.
No homo, but that gives me a jiu-jitsu boner, man. Pedro is so fucking badass, man.
Yeah, he is. I've rolled with some really good guys. Like I've rolled with some world champions, but Pedro's got the most pressure I've ever felt. As far as like that's something totally different. That pressure, like I'm not capable of that. I have a soft jiu-jitsu. It's very malleable and it's very. I give you what you want. If you want to go forward, I go backward. If you want to go backward, I go forward. And he's just like a battering ram, constant. It's interesting. It's different. It's a different kind of jiu-jitsu. That high pressure jiu-jitsu. There's some people that have that. There's some. It's very few. He's the only one I've ever felt like. Stewart's got some. Stewart can do that. He doesn't always now, which is very impressive about him, is that he doesn't always do that.
He throttles on and throttles off.
Yeah. Well, he's turned into a gentle giant. He's actually just started going with the flow. Whatever you want to do, he works. And I've seen the most improvement in his game as I have anyone.
I'm sure he's a lot different in competition, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In competition, he's going to
go.
That's how it should be, right? No doubt. But I think you maximize your learning. Like when we talked about this, is what we talked about this week, is that you maximize your learning when you can have that fluid exchange of give and take. If every match is a battle, you're not learning very much because you're going to spend 5 or 10 minutes just holding a position, securing it, and inching for that submission. Like that's practicing something and imposing something but going back and forth, that exchange, and the more times that happens, the more fluidity, the more moves you're getting to execute and learn and practice.
That's what I enjoyed about the quintet. Like, we're seeing Gordon Ryan, and again, back to the king, right? And Craig Jones, you see him finger crawling on the mat to try to get to that position. I was like, oh, man.
It's legit.
Little shit like that, like people that don't train, like, they don't know.
They don't appreciate it.
They don't appreciate
it's appreciation.
But
people that don't train, that little shit's way beyond them. They don't understand. Like, I think it's interesting that people that don't train think they're gonna, and they may armbar or triangle someone who doesn't train, right? Like, it's like, but if you don't train and you think you're gonna beat someone that has trained a little bit, like 6 months or a year or something like that, no.
Good luck.
Good luck. Good luck. I don't think you understand what all those hours add up to over 6 months or a year. You're not in the same league.
No, I totally agree.
Speaking for myself, and Alex, you know, please, if you experience the same thing, like I have good days and I have bad days, and obviously the bad days suck, but I learn from them. But like Jason, right? Dude, I passed his guard the other day, and that was the fucking biggest in my mind.
I saw it. I was like, how the hell did he do that? I can't even do that.
He went berserker a little bit and tapped me out right after that. But in my mind, I fucking won that bitch. You know what I'm saying? And it was dope, man. It was a good feeling, and I like Jason a lot. I respect him.
He's my favorite person to fight. Like, I don't know why. Like, I mean, and there's a huge disadvantage. Well, obviously besides skill, but I know I got like 30, 40 pounds on him. I do. But
he's 170.
Yeah, so I got so about 30 pounds, no more, 40 pounds on him. So that's a lot. And like, I remember joking with him when I first started talking to him. Like, man, I thought like if I ever saw you in the street, bro, I would whip your ass. Like, I mean, you're tall, you're lanky.
Good luck, right?
Yeah. Right. Oh no, yeah, he would have destroyed me. Like, he would kill me 10 out of 10. I didn't know he goes easy on me, even when he's going hard. Like, I know he's not going full strength. Every time I do get him, I catch him, bro. It's like you're saying. It's like
I'll get there.
I keep records in my brain, like who I'm beating.
We know.
Yeah.
We know. We can say we don't, but we know. We know.
Henry too, man. Like, Henry's legit. He's got this fucking amazing personality. I think he's cool as shit. And he's one of those guys, like, if you saw him in a bar, man, I'll fucking drop you on your ass, fool. Good luck, bro. Try that, dude. He'll fucking wrap you up.
When I think of it, I don't think anyone in this world deserves the name Spider Monkey more than him. If there truly ever were a Spider Monkey, it would be Henry.
Yeah.
Henry is the epitome of Spider Monkey. Like, I think, and this guy doesn't train. Like, I'm sorry, Henry. You used to train. I love you. We all love you. But this is a guy that trains once a month right now. Like, on a good month, he may come in 3 times. But you're a boater now, man. I hate to say it. He's an ex-jiu-jitero.
Come on, brother. Bring it in.
I wish he'd come back. But he's riding off skills that are like 3 years old now, 4 years old. We're riding, you know, and he rose to those super quickly. If he trained consistently, he would be an absolute force. He would be a beat. Like, people just don't know.
Dude, I told him last night I'd corner him if he goes to UFC, man.
I'll be his
and he could, like, he's the kind of guy who could. Like, he absolutely could. But
Henry Hoff.
You know, he just doesn't train. He's lost his. Some people get where they want to be. Like, that's the thing. Like, here's the thing. If you realize, and I understand, like, it's not my place to tell Henry, do you realize what you could be? He didn't want to be that. Like,
I was putting that little
you know
sugar
what I'm saying?
in his ear last night after watching UFC.
If he wanted to be that, he'd be doing it. You know, it's like if you realize, I started too late. I was never going to be a UFC champion or a world champion or any of that. I started at 30. So, there came a realization, like, I was trying so hard to get as good as I could get. Like, man, I was training every day. I was training with friends in their garages, and they're, traveling down to other cities and training with other coaches. And but there comes a point in time when it's like, man, when do I stop pushing that hard? Yeah. Right? Like, should it dominate your life? And maybe initially, like, I understand you want to kind of get on the playing field with everyone else. You want to be respected in this because it's your passion, right? Mm-hmm. I understand that. You do that.
I train with my dog all the time, like, just, hey, and then, like, she comes up and, like, whoop, triangle.
Stupid.
Sorry.
but you get to when you get to a certain level, and you realize that on any given day you could catch anyone in the world, and I'm not. That's not to pat myself on the back. That's saying, jiu-jitsu works. And, like, when you get to a certain point, on any given day, under the right circumstances, you can catch anyone in the world. I think when you have that confidence and you feel you got to that level, you can probably ease up a little bit, unless you're trying to be the world champion, right? Like, and now I just train, for me, I train 5 days a week. We roll an hour a day. I get in my 5 hours of rolling a day. And that's enough for me. I'm still growing. I'm still learning. 15 years later, I'm still growing every day. I don't think there's many. I don't think there's many people who have been that consistent for 15 years. That's pretty consistent. 5 days a week, an hour a day. That's a lot of rolling.
And like, So I joined jiu-jitsu because I was getting out of the Navy, and I knew I was going to lose. We were talking about this last night a little bit because we were.
I was a little drunk though,
but
so
it's like
the
hardest thing I think for a male adult to do is make friends. Right? You can't tell a dude, hey, bro, you want to go to the park? You want to go catch a movie? It just looks weird, you know? So I was like, you know, I was in the CrossFit scene a lot, and it was a different community. Like, you just go, you would work out, but it wasn't...
At the end of the day, you go home.
It wasn't the same thing. And I knew I'm going to make friends eventually, like in my next job or whatever, but I needed new friends. My friends I have now, they're eventually going to, you know, PCS, are going to move, go do duty stations. So I was like, I'm going to try out jiu-jitsu.
It takes a special kind of person to be your friend, though.
Because
like, you gotta be kind of weird.
Or you love me.
That's
it. No, I know. I've been dealing with
I think you're mostly
years.
lovable. Like mostly, yeah. You're pretty cool, dude.
Thanks. You guys are great.
I got to be honest. Like maybe I got treated differently as an instructor. Maybe that's the case. But I see him as mostly a likable guy. Like, I think more people like him.
I do, but I'm Navy guy, right?
Yeah.
And I get you. I understand.
Well, yeah, I get you too.
But there's people out there that
well, it's because veterans
get people like us.
Yeah,
right?
because we have a little darker sense of humor, and you know what? So do people here at jiu-jitsu. Like, we're literally strangling each other every day. And that's we were talking about that a little bit too. Like, so I came here. I wanted to make a core group of friends. I came within my month, and I almost quit a couple times because kind of the way I was treating you. Yeah, because the way I was treating you, like kind of like standoff. Everybody was a little standoffish too. Like, and I get it. You're not going to invest time into someone that you don't know that he's going to keep on coming.
I don't know that that's the mentality of everyone. I think it's that you already know people in the school. It's just funner. It's like, let me go grab Alex. And then you're this weird guy out, and you're just like, no one likes me. It's like, no, we're buddies. You know? It's like, and
it's not that nobody likes you.
You know, one of the things I'm struggling with right now is I believe. So the way I train, people who are listening who haven't trained at my school, is pretty much my entire career I've done no time limit sparring. All right, so this isn't normal at other schools. Most schools it's like 5-minute switch, 5-minute switch, 5-minute switch. I think that no time limit sparring makes you better for this reason. It changes the way you spar. You can no longer try to survive. Like if you're going against the higher belt, you can't say, let me just make it to 5 minutes and he didn't submit me. It ain't over till you lose. There's a loser and a winner in every match in our school. All right, so that changes it. That changes. It's like we're not switching so that changes the way you fight. All right, you don't realize that until you come from a place where you're switching every 5 minutes. But one of the things I realized is that the downside to that lack of a 5-minute switch is that people aren't making friends. They're not getting to meet the other person. They're not getting to train with the other person. And another thing I realized recently is that a lot of my students aren't getting to roll with me, right? Like if let's say that I have the obviously the most experience, if nothing else, in the school. It's not fair if I just spend 45 minutes rolling with Brenden. Like, you're not growing. You're not, because honestly, where you absorb the most is rolling with the higher level students. If you roll with high level students, you're growing at a higher rate.
No, I agree.
That's what you want to do. You want to. It sucks because you don't get to win as much, right? You're like, I can either beat up white belts or I can, get beat up by a black belt, and you really want to get beat up by the black belt if your goal is to get good.
Well, like in the morning sessions with Justin,
absorbed.
I beat you, bro. The morning session with Jason, like, I can't pass his guard, and if I do, it's because he probably let me. Right? I'm just being honest. But then when I go fight someone that isn't even a blue belt now, they're passing their guards. It's so much easier in comparison. I think my back defense has gotten great because that's all Jason does to me is attack my back. So if I can hold him off for a little bit, I know I can hold off so-and-so.
I'd attack your back, baby.
Yeah, anyways. And then exactly what you're saying. And I did notice that you've been adding that 5 minutes, which I kind of been ignoring a little bit.
Every now and
because
then.
because I'm like, I'm about to win, and you get 5 minutes. Like, no, we're not going in. We're finishing this fight.
Bobby has great ideas. Like, he brought up the other day, he was going to lose, once, and he didn't do that while we were rolling.
Well, here's the thing. What I was waiting for, that was actually in my head when we were rolling.
Me and you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted you to get legitimately close to a submission. So I said, I'm not gonna just let you go. Here, just limp arm and take it, right?
Right. Don't do that.
I wanted you to get
pretty close to something.
legitimately close. So like you're gonna basically earn it. You know, I'm not gonna fight you tooth and nail.
Right.
But I'm only gonna give it to you if you. So you have to trust in your technique. You have to go for it. And if you commit, and you know that's how I'm doing.
And those things are going on through my head. Believe it or not, it wasn't the first. But now I'm thinking,
what would it do for you if I just went? You know, just take it. I'm not gonna. So I'm like in my head, I'm like, all right. When he hits a legit, like
I know you gave it.
I'm
to
not
me.
gonna fight it tooth and nail. I'm just gonna. If he gets a good submission, I'm gonna reward it with a tap.
You're not allowed to do that to me though.
What? You can go like just.
No, you can't do that. No, you can't give me a win.
Oh,
I don't want you.
Yeah.
Never.
And we can all. That's always.
I
Cool.
wanna earn it.
We can always.
I've caught Bobby twice. Like, I got that list on my phone.
Yeah, but he's going easy with you though, dude. Like, dude, I don't want to go to your funeral. Don't die. Don't tell Coach.
No, I just
It
don't.
wouldn't bother me anyway. Plenty of people that beat me. That I've been beat by a white belt. When I was trying. If a black belt says, if you think a black belt's uncatchable, you're wrong. You're just wrong. Percentage-wise, you're correct. Yes, 99% of the time or 95% of the time, you are correct. They should be that good. They should. But I can remember back to the first time I lost to a white belt. I can't remember. I honestly don't remember. I just remember I was kind of going a little bit slow, but not expecting to lose. And the dude just spun around my back with the quickness. It was actually Julian. That was like the first white belt that I remembered. Because the first time it happens, you're like, damn, I'm embarrassed as shit. Like it kind of embrazened in my head. He just spun him out and he shot his arm under my neck so quick. I was just defending, you know. I'm kind of like, we just defend, play around, no problem, you know. I got this guy, and all of a sudden, and I was like, fuck, it was in. There was no getting out. It was just done. He shot it in so quick. So, my point is, there's if a white belt couldn't beat a black belt, then jiu-jitsu doesn't work. All right, it doesn't work. Then you give up all belief in it. Now, what I mean is, if jiu-jitsu works, then if you do something right that you were taught, and I make one mistake, you should get that tap. I'm not infallible. No black belt's infallible. I've caught really, really good black belts, right? And
fucking ego gets in the way though.
Yeah,
there's people like I pull back. I was rolling. It was morning, you know, class, whatever, blue belt, and I was cranking on. And my technique probably wasn't. My head wasn't down right. I was trying to do an Americana, and you gave me a tip the other day. Put your head on your hands. But I was cranking on him. I was like, fuck, man, I want to stop. Like, it was back as far as, but he just, and so he didn't tap, but I let go because I'm like, I don't want to fuck this dude's arm up. You know, I don't want to pull too hard.
But like when I'm rolling with the majority of students in the majority of roles, I'm rolling at a capacity where I don't want to say it where like there have been times when I've let people win. That has happened. I've intentionally let people win. But also there's been times when I've rolled at a capacity where I've changed my level to their level, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not just trying to maul them. I'm not seeing if I can just maul them, right? I'm
Right.
Although there have been times where I've said, let me see if I can maul this guy. I want to see how much I can rape this dude. Like that's my goal. I want to like. There's been times where I said, all right,
Baron Bello.
let me just wreck the shit out of this dude. Let me just see what I'm capable of. Those days come, right? And then there's also days, the majority of days, I'm like making the match even. I'm trying to make it a fair exchange so I can learn too. Where you get me in something, I have to. Here's the problem with a black belt is if I go 100% all the time, and theoretically I can dominate you all the time, when can I practice my escapes? And then I get in a match with a good black belt where I actually have to do a couple escapes, and I haven't been practicing my escapes, right? Like I haven't had to roll out of an armbar. It's all rusty. It's all crap. My running man escape is shit, right? I have to put myself in them risks to work the defensive side of my game. I have to.
That makes sense.
And then the question becomes, if you do the move right, you're going to get me. As long as you don't do anything, you know, I've already made the mistake. I kind of put myself in that position. So for me to get better, I have to expose myself to mistakes. I have to. And so not to say I haven't, but there's been a handful of times when I wasn't trying to, you know, I was being as legit as I could, and someone hit me with something I hadn't seen. Students come in all the time. Jason's looking at all this crazy shit all the time, and he comes in with something I just don't know. I've never seen it. And as a result, I learn, right?
So, good stuff. Another question. Do you believe we've been to the moon?
Damn, we're just way there.
Just-
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
At all. And obviously, me and Bob, we've all had this conversation.
Yeah, we've all had it.
But they don't know
bringing
we've
it
had
up.
this conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
So
As far as the show, it's new.
to me, it's just weird. It's just weird that no other country's done it. It's weird to me that we don't have the technology anymore to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we lost it. It got destroyed.
Yeah, we lost
We're
it.
trying to reinvent it, but
It
maybe in a decade, maybe.
It doesn't make sense. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, and then it's the inconsistency too. Like you talk to the ISS astronauts and they describe what they're seeing out their little window.
Yeah, stars everywhere.
Stars, planets.
No
You talk to the
stars.
astronauts that went to the moon. It's like there was no stars on the moon. There was no stars on the way to the moon. On the way back, you couldn't see anything. So I'm like, that right there, it's like a huge red flag. I don't even want to go any deeper because
What about Buzz Aldrin just admitting, young lady, it didn't happen that way?
Yeah, I saw that
We
video
never went
too.
there.
And-
What will people say in their stead? Like, how do they rectify that? How do you? It's like, well, he said it, but he didn't mean it.
or
you know?
they'll chump it because he's old. You know,
yeah,
like those-
senile, forgot.
Exactly. And people say like, well, if it was fake, you know, they couldn't keep the secret long enough. You're right, they haven't. The secret's already out, but people still don't
Yeah,
believe it.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's a good. I never thought about looking at it like that. It's like 52% of UK.
Yeah, I saw that article too.
Yeah, it's like, oh, people would know about it. They do. More
Yeah.
than half the people. You're the idiot. You're the dude clinging to we've been to the moon. You're the minority. The only reason I've been looking for the US stats, I can't find them. I think they like hide it. I think they put it at the bottom of the fucking Google results.
Yeah, like page
Like
79.
you found, yeah. I found UK, and UK is 52%. If you think we went to the moon, goddamn, I just took this over, but I'm gonna say it. If you think we went to the moon, you just haven't researched it. We haven't went to the moon.
Yeah.
We weren't there. We weren't in space in '65. We weren't on the moon in '69 or '71 or '72. And if we haven't been to the moon, and neither is any other country, what are the ramifications of that? Let's talk about that. Sorry, is that okay if we talk about that, Brenden? Can we? Would you be all right with that?
You
Just
started
for a
it.
little bit. I know I started. Just for a little bit. Let's go. Let's go down.
Well, get your phone out and put a timer on. Like,
All right,
we're like 7
All right,
minutes.
Well, this is a round. This is a round. Go ahead. Go ahead. Bye.
This is my most passionate subject, and for the record, since I've been accused, I am not stating the Earth is flat. I do put tons and tons and tons of research searching for indisputable evidence because I want to know. And why am I on this quest of the cosmology of the plane that we live in? Why the quest? Because we have never been in space. There is no Cassini. There's no probe out there going to Mars. We haven't been to the moon. If we can't get to the moon, then no, we're not sent. There's no SpaceX. It's fake. Look at the videos. They're debunked. It's the same video playing in the background. SpaceX has been debunked. There's no Virgin Galactic. They've taken up 4 people, and all 4 people have died. No one wants that space flight. Okay, they're making it so that it's technically available if you want to die. If there's no space, think about it. If we have not been to space, why not? Why not? We would definitely have the technology today. We would have the technology. And so that to me says, I just have to ask the question, why have we not gone beyond low Earth orbit? I think we can get up a certain altitude. I think we can get 500 or 1,000 miles, which... So what would be your thoughts on like that? Like,
Why
I
haven't
know where
we?
my brain goes, but where does your brain go when you think about something like that? What else could that, what ramifications could that have?
What are you talking about? Are you talking about in the religious point of view?
I'm saying, for me, what that translates to is I must rethink the fact that the Earth is round. You have to rethink it, right? Because here's why. If we've never been to space, that's really only why people think the Earth is round. If you think about it, like, it's never been proven.
Yeah.
Like, people will go, oh, well, Pythagoras proved the Earth is round, and Copernicus, and no, they didn't. They said if the sun is 93 miles away, and 21 or 800,000 miles across, or if it's 800,000 miles across, then it must be 93 miles away, right? That's an assumption, and all science is toppled on top of that. Like, that's what people don't understand, is they go, well, we know stars are light years away because we use astronomical units. An astronomical unit is one distance to the sun, which is all based on Pythagorean's theory. And it wasn't Pythagorean. Pythagoras didn't figure it out. He just verified something the Egyptians had been doing, for the record. So we shouldn't even call it Pythagorean theory. But which, by the way, is like the highest principle of like Freemasonry. Freemasonry is the worship of geometry and mathematics.
Okay.
At the highest level, they have these hidden agendas, and all the astronauts and all the presidents, they're all Freemasons, just about every single one. And their number one principle that you must master and learn, number one, they either call it the 47th principle or the 67th principle. You can read about it.
Okay.
When you get your 33rd Freemason, they square a room. You square a room using Pythagorean theory, using this a squared plus b squared equals c squared, right? And it's amazing because that's how you can say the height of the sun. But that's all basing it on believing and assuming that the size of the sun's 800,000 miles across. The moment you make the sun 32 miles across, it becomes instantly 3,100 miles high. So if the only way we knew, and then people go, but we know stars are light years away. No, we don't. That's all based on the astronomical unit that you said that we assumed. So you got all this toppled science. It's science stacked on top of science, and I call it Masonic science. A lot of people do. It's kind of evil. It's kind of like it's all built on this one assumption. And people go, there's another thing that we don't observe. Like the most damning thing in the world is like, you know, you're the center when the stars, you got to look at these videos of star trails, right? Mm-hmm. And like there's the pole star and then all the stars move perfectly like a record as long as we've been alive. That can only happen if we're the center of the universe, if we're the center of everything, right? And then it goes further because you say, well, maybe if, you know, people, the argument is that the stars are so far away that they wouldn't move, which makes no sense. I don't care. Even if they are trillions of miles away, the light getting here is still playing in real time. It's like it's like you can't say, well, it takes 1,000,000 years to catch up. Well, I don't care. They should be moving you know, like it's like watching a TV show. It's old, but it should still be playing in real time, right? And what we don't observe is what's called parallax. That's like one of the most damning evidences. Parallax is when you take an object behind an object and you move it like this, you know, you see the distance, you see that happen, right? There's no parallax observed in any stars, which means they all exist on the same plane, on the same dome, right? I know all this shit sounds crazy and whack, and
all right, those are your 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was my pitch. That was my 5-minute pitch. I'm trying to convince everyone.
For those of you that can't follow along, like myself, Bobby's very intelligent, like genius, fucking smart.
Oh, absolutely.
So he's definitely done the research, knows what the fuck he's talking about. I respect it. It's way over my head, way over my genius, right? I just, you know, fart and drink beer.
Stupid.
But I love his fucking like. What do you call that? Like
passion.
His passion. Yeah, sorry.
I got you, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
But without
we can't go back
without continuing on about flat Earth. This is a different subject. Whether you see it as a different subject or not. The question of why you would want
to know
to go that direction. I think that's a different subject.
Like the false direction.
No, why would it be so important to know the true cosmology of our Earth? And for people to go, you can't hold a lie. You couldn't lie about the shape of our Earth. Well, yes, they lied to you about space. They did lie to you about space.
Nobody cares. They care about Kardashians
and here's why you should care, though. Because it would change everything in our world. Everything. Yeah. Like literally everything would change. You wouldn't have murderers. You wouldn't have crime. We wouldn't have war. We would hang all our politicians. We would, if let's just say the Earth, let's just say it were, right? Okay. Let's just say it were. We found out like tomorrow the Earth were flat. Mm. How many people do you think are going to be religious instantly?
And see, people don't get what you're saying right now. I do, and because like you were saying, Bobby's a genius in my book, and like I think you're explaining things to cockroaches, right? Like they're not following, but. What I'm like, I guess a way to dumb it down is that You know, the biggest battle, biggest war from the beginning of time was like, you know, people that believe in God and people that don't. That's it. You can literally split that divide right there. And I'm not talking about like Christianity gods or Muslim gods. I'm just talking about God and non-believers. And I think like just disproving the Bible is the best way to prove God isn't real. And just saying stuff like the Earth is round, saying stuff like the Earth isn't in the center of our solar system, kind of tricks us into thinking, oh, okay, so religion is just a made-up story. Science is real.
Right.
You know, we talk about the core of the Earth being full of magma, but we only drilled like what 7 miles.
7 miles, a little over 7.
But yeah, we can hypothesize or call it fact now that the center of the Earth is full of lava or magma, makes our Earth warm, but there's no proof of that.
Yeah.
So I agree with you 100% that. Like you said, I don't believe the Earth is flat. I don't believe the Earth is round. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
and I want to know. And I wish there wasn't so much deceit in the world, but
I just love talking about it because people reinforce. It's like I get a more definitive view when someone intelligent argues with me, and because then I got to go research what they said, and that's like the hive mind. I'm not telling people, dude, you're ignorant. The Earth is flat. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I need to have this conversation so you can give me more to research. I need to know what your so firm belief in, because then I can go do more research on that thing and see if it's that definitive. Like, if you tell me, bro, I know we've been to Earth because I've seen the photos from Cassini, then I got to go research the photos of Cassini and see if Cassini's real. Well, guess what? It's not. They're using the same photos from 2010. They're using in 2016. It's all,
same clouds.
Yeah, it's shit like that, right? Like I'm looking for the definitive proof. I haven't found it.
And I'm very religious. I am. Maybe not as a good practicing Christian as I should be, but I am. I believe the Bible. I mean, that's my
Your
foundation.
gay thoughts are a sin, by the way.
Yeah,
I became religious.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I was going to steal that
I
from
became
you
religious.
because I'm writing a book about you. You don't know yet, but I know you were somewhat religious growing up. You turned agnostic, and then just doing this, which people call crazy conspiracy, you came back to God in a way.
Yeah,
and I think if all that. That's a great outcome of your conspiracy nutcase, blah blah blah. Which I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying that's what people that are just okay with being lied to.
Even if I found out the Earth were round, it wouldn't change my religious views now because of how much. And I think this is a different subject.
Okay.
In studying the science of our solar system, even what is observable, regardless of what it is. I think Elon Musk is right that it is. We are in a construct. It is a simulation. Just like Galileo said. Galileo's quoted as saying, "The language that the universe is written in is mathematics." As you start, you see these coincidences. Like, holy shit, 666 is everywhere. It's in the tilt of this, the tilt of that, the speed of this, the speed of that, the circumference of this, the circumference of that. It is. You can't even imagine. As you start going down this road, that's why I need more. I need more because I'm like, dude, it can't be here too. And I'll just grab at stupid shit. What's the speed of our universe? And then you're like, sure enough, there's that number. There they are again. This cannot be. Pi, the Fibonacci sequence, the 666 numbers, it's everywhere. And they're like, it truly is the language of the universe. And that right there says that it's not chaotic. It says that it's order. And if there's order, there has to be a creator. You don't get, it's beyond order. It's well beyond order. Oh, yeah. It's intelligently designed, right? And I think the majority of philosophers and the majority of great thinkers agree on that you can't have, even if they, the irony is they could come out, even if it were a globe, and I'm not saying it's not, I'm saying whatever it is, more than likely it's a construct. And I relate it to this. If you take PUBG or whatever the game you're playing, what are they on? Are they on a globe or are they on a flat plane? They're on neither. You programmed it and said, well, it's a big ass ball. You probably did put that in there, but they'll never know. If they're sentient beings, they'll never know. And that's more than likely a better correlation to what we really are, right? Yeah. Different conspiracy.
Truth. I'm still stuck on the Anunnaki and Egypt and the
megalithic structures. Megalithic structures. Fucking my mind just wants to go.
Sometimes I can't fucking sleep because just questioning those things. But at the end of it, like we're at where we are where we're at now.
Obviously.
And I kind of throttled back. Because I want to focus more on my jiu-jitsu and watching, training and those videos. But yeah. No.
When you do go into conspiracy mode, what do you go into right now? Like you're at home, you're watching videos. What are you watching?
I'm still stuck on the ancients, like pyramids, the Zechariah Sitchin the tablets. Like that. So I'm still there. I'm still a white belt.
Did you go down the Anunnaki? Did you go down the Anunnaki road yet?
No. But I guess I got some homework to do.
I went like balls deep.
Yeah.
I went balls deep down Anunnaki, right?
Like
Zechariah Sitchin and all of his constituents. I listened to all his audiobooks online and watched all his conferences. And when I started researching, the subject we can't talk about, I kind of left that. And I was like, oh, shit, because I came to this realization that those 200 Anunnaki that came down were actually the 200 Watchers, and they were just deceiving the humans and saying, "Hey, we came." They couldn't come down and tell the truth. If you tell the truth, it's like, wait a minute, you're supposed to be watching this. There's a grand creator, and you're not allowed to interact with. You can't tell the truth. You got to come down and lie. We came from far away. We flew here. I believe
we were an experiment. Let's fucking leave them over there and see what they do, and they destroy themselves, and we'll start over another.
Because the Book of Enoch. And I think that's a different subject.
It is, and
I'm just
I started listening to it. I did.
The Book of Enoch,
so advanced, though,
lines up with Zechariah Sitchin's teachings. Like, it's just like it's dead. It's dead on, and it's a biblical reference. And
I need to listen to it at least once. I tried. It's so long.
Oh my God, I can't stop it every time I start it.
And
I say 5 times I've listened to the Book of Enoch.
I say try it because I started on my commute to work. And then I get to work, and it's like I have an office where
the amazing part is
people in there.
Because now that I say, okay, all right, I've pretty much come full circle back to religion, right? Like when he talks about what happens to the spirits, right? They don't say souls, they say spirits in the Book of Enoch. And when they talk about what can happen, I'm like listening, like, oh shit, how bad did I fuck up, right? Like, what can I get away with? Can spirits get snuffed out? The answer is yes. But there's a lot of, it's not that simple, right? You'd have to fuck up like really bad. And there is a purgatory. They call it Sheol. It's all pretty crazy. But you listen to like the different places you can get sent to, and whether like spirits are just like destroyed and like your existence is gone. And they even say like the evil spirits, like the children of the Watchers that became the Nephilim, that became these giants that were 3,600, like 3,000 to 5,000 feet tall, supposedly, right? Like,
Jesus.
I know they supposedly there were giants walking the earth that were like 3,000 to 5,000 feet tall, and I know there's some whack ass shit, but there's also like arguments about that, about what the cubit or whatever related to the size of it. Like some people say, oh, it meant 36 feet tall or 50 feet tall, but somewhere between 36 and 5,000 feet tall. But those spirits are constantly reincarnated, and those are like they're evil spirits that kind of they're always in positions of power, and they mislead us, and it's like their job. I think they're left here, and that's their job. They're the ones who do the Masonic science, and they mislead us to become. It's their job to tempt us to be bad, to be evil, and if you go down that route, you lost. You lost.
No, I agree. I definitely believe in a creator.
Reincarnation.
Okay. Reincarnation.
Oh,
what do you think?
I say no. I say no. I say reincarnate.
I say karma based. I say, in my mind, if you're a fucked up individual and you're a murderer, right? When you get reincarnated, you're gonna be a toad or something. You're gonna be you're not coming back as a good person. You're gonna get punished for that.
So the only form of reincarnation I think exists is what the Bible kind of talks about, like the second coming of Christ, coming back, like the inheriting the earth, all that stuff. I think I do kind of believe in a purgatory because the Bible talks about when you pass away, you go to sleep. There's a lot of references when Jesus quoted stuff like, "No, she's not dead. She's simply sleeping." No, she was dead, and that's why in the rapture, everyone gets raptured. The dead in Christ. I don't think it's a physical like the people that are like in that are buried are going to come up. I think of the people that were sleeping are going to come up to get judged, the great judgment, and all that. I do believe in that. I don't believe in reincarnation. I guess like the way movies describe it, like you come back for your second, third, fourth life. I don't. It just seems weird to me. I believe that there's an end game and all this, and I feel like there's going to be a great battle eventually.
Well, I think we're reincarnated constantly. Like I believe that. I believe that we're reincarnated maybe even thousands of times. Like who knows how long this will go? And here's why. Let's say, because if we are here, we're here as a test. There's no question about it. It's here to see if you pass or fail. Here to see the quality of your soul or what you've become, the choices you made, and how could it be a fair test? Like, what if you as a soul, first off, I've seen some convincing video of like children that were born that remembered their past life and then like even flew to the village they were from and had described it and said, this is the street, that's the house, it's blue, you go inside, it's got this wallpaper, and it was like amazing footage. But there's lots of people that claim they remember their past lives. But here's where it gets interesting for me is that what if you were born to this amazing, loving family and they had tons of money and you lived this life where you were never faced with these problems, right? And then let's say you're born in the Middle East and your kids get dropped like chemical bombed and you watch the skin dissolve off of them and you have nothing and you're hungry and you don't even have a home. It got bombed and blew up. And what choices do you make? And how is that fair? And I think if we had a fair God, you would have to go through tons and tons of different trials, right? He would probably want to see what you're made of. Like, what point would you cave? You know, like Braveheart, you know, it's like, are you going to cave when they start pulling your guts out? Or, you know, like that's kind of like how I think about it is, because if you came up with a good life and you made good choices, well, that's great. But what if you grew up in Compton and your parents got shot and you've got literally nothing and someone's offering you to sell crack and then some dude's trying to, you know, I mean, you know, it's just, it could be, the circumstances can be so different.
But you're looking at like sin, wrongdoing as, you know, one's worse than the other. Like all sin is sin. Like I know in our mindset to say that, you know, a murderer is not as bad as a thief, or they're equals. They are. We're all sinners. We were born into sin because of Adam and Eve. And I think God created the world with a perfect plan, whatever. But
is that true though? Like I don't know. I didn't know that. Like,
yeah.
Like how did you come to that conclusion? Like I'm not calling.
What are you talking about? Sin is sin.
Yeah. Is that written in the Bible?
Yeah.
That all sin is evil.
Yeah. So it says that we all, you know, our good deeds are considered filthy rags. That they're like, you know, it's kind of what he was talking about. You know, you can do a million good things. My pastor, I grew up in a church and I went to private school. You know, you can have the best cake in the world, the best cake, best ingredients, you know, and you had a little turd in it. Are you going to eat that cake? And that turd's our sin. Like we were born into sin from Adam and Eve. And, you know, back then we would well, not we because I wasn't around, but, you know, the perfect ox, the sheep, the pigeons, depending on your wealth, you'd make sacrifices depending on what you could afford. You know, the ox were for the rich people. I guess middle class was like the sheep, the perfect sheep.
I'm not tracking.
And then the poor people would just use, I think, pigeons. There were pigeons. They would use, or doves, to make their burnt sacrifices. And then Jesus, which is considered, you know, the perfect lamb, he was a sacrifice, and that was our sacrifice for sin. So all we have to do is believe in that happened and repent and be baptized, because it talks about that in the Bible, and then you're forgiven. Now and this is where people are like, so if I do all that, I can just do whatever I want and I'm good. I mean, I guess if you want to think it like that, yes. But if you really do believe, like, there should be a struggle not to commit sin.
Right.
You know, there should be a struggle. Like, you don't want to do this. You should, like, your moral compass should be more.
Right. If you really believe.
Yeah.
Then
you don't, like, yeah, you don't want, like,
happen.
even here, like, as silly as it is, like, I don't want to step on the mat, you know, because I know it's wrong. That type of thing with my sandals on or my shoes. But
it's just gross, bro. Like, wear
exactly.
your shoes in the bathroom.
All right.
Wait, hold on.
Let me finish.
No,
he's the host.
Motherfucker, I'm the host.
I was
right,
a
so
quarter way into my thing.
Okay, well, I'm gonna piggyback off that because I'm not that religious. I almost said fucking religious. But I'm not gonna say that. That's a sin. But you know, that's the irony of it. And I want to get off religion, but you brought up a point because I do it all the time, and because I'll be like, when I talk to someone who's really religious, and I'm not, but be like, a friend of mine, get to the point. I suck at telling stories, but it's like, yeah, I sin, but like, fuck it. All I gotta do is say I believe in Jesus, and He forgives me, so I gotta do whatever the fuck I want. And that's not really what I believe, but that's like a loophole, right? Like, ask for forgiveness, say you believe in, like, going to church and going to celebration, whatever. You know, if you accept Lord Jesus in your life, now you're saved and all your sins are forgiven, right? So there's the loophole. I did that. Boom. Now I'm forgiven. Now I'm sinning again.
See, there's a mindset that people think that you need to earn your salvation. Salvation was a gift, you know.
And back in the day, and you could pay.
I know, but that's back in the day. I know that was back in the day, but like this was a gift, right?
Shh.
So if I give you a gift, right? Like perfect example. Right?
Give tithes, bro. 60%.
No,
or 90% of your money. You make, give it to Jesus,
10, that's
bro.
60.
I don't know.
But that's
give
not even
tithes,
the thing.
Bro.
Listen. Cut off his mic. So look. So it's a gift, right? You don't earn a gift. It's a gift is a gift, you know? And all you have to do is accept the gift, and that's it.
So accept me, bro.
I do accept you. Right. Accept it. Accept it. It's a gift. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to like maintain it. It was given to you. It's a gift.
I should.
And all you have to do is
but don't worry,
it.
since you don't believe, we will visit you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll visit you.
Bring me donuts.
It's all good. We'll bring donuts.
And that's great.
Maybe that's
it's
my
probably
ignorance.
not that bad a place. They probably got drapes on the walls hiding the Bible.
Bro, as long as there's some Asian women there, I'm good.
I'm sure.
Hey, we love you a long time, bro. No, but no, I believe in karma. I just believe, you know, do whatever the fuck you want. But be a good person. Don't fuck over your friends.
See, but there's the moral though. What's good?
What's good?
Because there has to be an absolute truth. So you're like,
what's good is your glasses are clean as shit.
Yeah, I did clean them. Thanks.
But we've talked about that obsession he has.
Yeah.
I called them. I was like, bro, is that just frames? Like,
well, I can, dude, because I'll get like a migraine. Like,
it looks like there's no glass in it. By the way, if you're just listening,
there's glass.
His glasses look like they don't have glass.
No,
they don't have. Let me see.
No,
let me.
You're gonna put your thumbprint on.
I absolutely am gonna fucking grab your glasses with my fingers.
I can't.
Yeah,
I have like 4 pair of glasses.
His glasses look like he wears like these Clark Kent glasses. And
Ray-Bans,
Ray-Bans.
Well, I put my fancy ones.
Do you bring those to training?
No, the ones from, was it Zini? Zini, send us a check. Their glasses like $14, a full frame lens and everything, $14.
He was like, don't step on my glasses, bitch. I'm like,
no, I don't bring these to training.
I saw your glasses down there.
Because I bought these before I knew about the website. These were like $200, and I bought like 5 pair of glasses from this website for like less than $200. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Scam. I don't remember what we were talking about 2 seconds ago.
I know, but that's the beauty of alcohol.
You distracted me.
It is, but we're just gonna go down another. Let's go to the Navy.
What are we talking about?
Nothing.
What do you want to talk about in the Navy?
We're talking about religion. I don't get off that shit.
What do you want to talk about? OS1.
Oh, hey, MA2. One,
bro. Disrespectful, dude. Yes.
Yeah. So me and Alex maybe had this little Navy camaraderie thing. We both served.
Jeff was in the military. He was in the Navy too.
No.
Yeah, he was.
The Ripper?
Yeah, I think he was the 2nd class.
Did he marry Mrs. Ripper while he was in the Navy? Or
I don't know. We gotta ask him.
We gotta
do a lifeline. Give him a call.
Jeff Gates was in the.
Jeff Gates? I think he was in the Navy. Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna say I think. I know he was in the military.
You can't call Jeff Gates the Ripper.
Did I say? I meant
you did.
Jackknife.
You called Joan the
Jackknife.
Joan is the. Let me.
Fuck me up.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're gonna
go
go back.
Confused
Mrs.
Too.
Jackknife. I call him Jackknife.
Mrs. Jackknife.
Because he makes knives.
Yeah.
And I try to.
He makes some badass shit. Yeah, that's pretty dope. If I had time, I would do shit like that.
I want him to make me legit like a white belt one.
A white belt knife?
Because I've seen like flip flops, right? Mm-hmm. Sandals, keychains, right? For black belts, and you know I'm a fucking chode. I'm a white belt right now, but that's gonna change, bitch. I'm never
2-stripe white belt.
I'm never giving up. I'm gonna be that old ass dude, like with my.
Oh, I don't know what we're about to talk about.
Like I'm thinking, here's
I knew I was gonna be a black belt when I started.
It's gonna happen.
It was unquestionable. Like I knew.
So my question about like,
I feel like that with purple.
Guy, like as guys, right? We get older, your balls kind of sag. Like as an old guy, like when you go north south, The beanbag,
Bro,
like your
compression
old
shorts.
Beanbag, bro. Just a beanbag hitting you.
Compression shorts. Mine's still
Dude,
inside.
let me, man, this is kind of gay to talk about, but I'm just gonna tell
not
you, man.
gay.
No, this is different.
Only
I'm
if
going
you
down-
moan. It's only gay if you
I'm not
moan.
gonna say when or where it happened, but I'll just say, man, I rolled with this dude. It's worse than the beanbag. All right. I don't know if he was packing like 20 inches. What he was packing.
Fucking python, the real anaconda.
The shit would be laying across your face.
Oh.
Like, it's just like, dude, it's like, what the fuck? It's
Fucking
like,
snaked you.
yeah, he would snake you. It's like beanbag does nothing until you've been snaked. Like this dude, I don't know what he was wearing. I think he was wearing like those loose shorts,
Like boxer shorts.
And when he would go north-south, you're like, that is a fucking violation right there. Someone needs it. That's traveling. Traveling. Fucking out of here.
I don't want to get hit with a big dick in my face.
Yeah.
I don't have that problem. I gotta.
Yeah, that'll make you want to quit
True,
jiu-jitsu right there.
Dude, should you get a stripe for
Beanbag
having
is
a huge
nothing.
dick? Like just coming in.
I'm gonna ex-coach.
Nah, we're not gonna. That's homo. Like,
No,
There's
he's
no
like,
stripe for that.
but there's no stripe for big dicks. But the funny thing is, right, when you get a group of guys together, and ladies, if you're listening, I got one fan out there, by the way. She told me. I was pretty excited that they're listening. The people are listening.
nice.
But
I think we actually
shout
have
out
like
to
5
Mrs. Williams.
fans.
Yeah,
Like,
5.
yeah, about approaching 6, so we'll throw that out there.
Fuck it, man. Spread the word. This is
Try to get
awesome.
this number. I told my mom to watch.
Yeah.
Start
sure-
working
We've
on-
got hundreds. It's pretty cool. We're up to hundreds. I think that's pretty cool.
I shared
Of viewers, anyway.
I shared the last episode with my family. Whatever. If people listen, they get to see me.
We're just
But-
having fun.
We're just having fun. We're just talking shit. I don't want to offend anybody. I'm not homo, and there's nothing wrong with gay people. Let me put that out there. I love gay dudes. Gay dudes are cool with me. I don't suck dick. But in being guys, right? We can joke around this shit. We can joke around it. But there's one guy in their group that's super like standoffish about it. Like he's like, get the fuck away from me, don't touch me.
That's Craig.
Oh, you called him out.
That's Craig.
Okay. Well, I'm leading into a story. It's something that I've heard, right? And it may or may not be Craig. But I suck at statistics. I don't know numbers like Bobby does, right? But there's something I saw back in the day that says he's gonna fucking hate me for this story, but that they took a group of guys.
I think I know what
right?
you're gonna say.
You know what I'm saying?
I think
they
so.
took a group of guys. They all exposed them to porn, male on male porn, right? But they did body readings. The guys that can joke around, fucking kiss each other on the cheek, grab each other's balls, hit each other in the dick, and not be like weirded out about it. No reaction to the gay porn.
Yeah.
The ones with the homophobe, like, oh, don't fucking touch me. Ugh.
Got hard-ons?
Yep. Got the most reaction out of the porn.
I believe my dad used to say something like that.
But
like, yeah.
but it's scientific reading. So maybe they didn't get a hard on. Maybe they just got like fucking so grossed out by it. I know for a fact that like gay porn doesn't do anything for me. I watch it all the time.
Well, for me, it does. The girl on board does it for me. It's still technically
I'm
gay
just
porn.
kidding. I don't watch gay porn, bro. but yeah. All right. So how much gay porn do you watch, Alex?
All the time.
Okay.
Wait, so you're a bad host, and then I say Bobby's
Am
doing
I?
better. Yeah,
Yeah.
like we started like 3 conversations, didn't even start it, and you
Okay,
jumped
okay,
into
okay,
one.
go
We were
to
talking
one.
about we were talking about the Navy. We were gonna talk about bad habits in jiu-jitsu, like. We were talking about the feet, the mats, the shoes, the bathroom, and then you went distracted.
Yeah, because
I'm
I've talked
keeping
about
track.
the feet and the mats
Yeah.
and stinky geese. And
Oh, we got a
other
stinky
episodes.
Man, we
Here.
get. You know what? What
I'm not gonna
pisses
say
me
the
off
name
is
though.
No, don't say the name.
I'm not gonna say the name.
some new guys more than anything, but once in a while, a guy that's been around comes in with fucking dirty ass feet, just like. I don't know if they're wearing like the flip flops that they mowed the lawn in, or,
No,
but
don't
they
do that.
step on the mat and you can see the foot tracks. And I'm
Footprints.
just like, bro, I can follow to who did this. It goes to you. You know, it's like, man, and I have a hard time calling people out like that because I don't want to, especially when
me.
they're new.
Yeah,
You
you
know
need
what?
to side.
I was
Let
gonna,
me-
I was gonna do that. You
I
need to
don't
put
care,
an enforcer. You know how Nikki's your enforcer in class,
I'll be the
in kids
dick.
class.
I'll be the dick.
You need an enforcer because I know you can't do it. You know, because at the end of the day, this is a business. You know, we wanna,
I'm just not. I'm not hardcore like that.
Oh,
like
I'm
I
definitely-
can't embarrass someone. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I
you don't
can't.
have to
You don't
embarrass
them,
them. You put them
but let us know.
aside.
And I've noticed it. And let me one more thing. Like I noticed Bobby, and that's what I love about the podcast. We interact here. Like seeing Bobby last night at the UFC, super quiet, chill.
I'm not.
But-
I'm uneasy.
He's uneasy.
Yeah.
You know why? Because there's shit that's getting dirty.
Yeah.
And I'm the same
Yeah.
way.
You're OCD.
He stood up. He got up.
I saw the
vacuumed,
broom,
Picked
yeah.
out
Well,
some shit.
let me explain.
I stepped in the fucking kitchen to get a beer,
and he had just mopped, and I felt so fucking bad.
No, it's no big deal. But I knew that like it leaves the dirt in the, like, if you looked, it wasn't just wet. It was like, it's dirt, and I don't mind. Like actually, I don't care. Hold on. I don't care. What bothers me is that my cleaning is bothering other people. If people would just let me clean and not be upset about it, I'd be fine. I don't mind. I'm actually a workaholic. Like, I literally don't mind.
My mom is like this.
But everyone's like, dude, just wait till later. You're doing double the work. And I'm like, no, technically I'm not. Let me explain something.
You're right, though.
Hold on.
You're right.
What they don't understand is, like, that area where we have that, it's got a lot of grout, like thick grout, like that. And we had a lot of cupcakes going around, or whatever you call those things. Brownies.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many people ate a brownie without a plate. Like,
fuck, I did it.
Parents are just like, brownies, here, take a brownie, take a. And I'm just like watching the crumbs. And then the moment it gets stepped into the grout, that 2-second job just became a scrubbing job. Now I got to get down there, and if you were to go and look over the grout right now, I've probably got 2 hours of work ahead of me. Now, if people just would have let me run around with the vacuum, and I would have been happy, because I'd have been like, it's easy.
Save
like,
time, yeah.
And I'm cool. Or if everyone would use plates, I'd have been cool.
There should have been plates.
And I'm cool with that. But I'm just uneasy. I'm not upset. But if people would just let me clean and not kind of like, like several people go, and then it's like an attack on my intelligence. That's how I interpret it. Because several people are just like, bro, you're just making more work. Why don't you just wait till the end of the night? And I want to go, no, I'm not.
Here's a
Are
spreadsheet.
you scrubbing? Are you scrubbing Are you scrubbing the cupcakes out of the grout? I am. You're not. I know what's more work. So just let me go around and vacuum, and I'll be happy, because I agreed to have this. I'm okay with it. Just don't stop me from cleaning. I want to. My job's easier, because then at the end of the night, I'm done. But then I got uneasy, because like 5 people told me, dude, just wait till the end of the night. You're doing more work, and I just want to go. No, you're not.
Because I know.
I know. Bobby came over to my house Friday night. We all watched Quintet 3, and he started cleaning my kitchen. Like,
I saw that.
Picking up shit.
Bobby makes me feel bad. Like, man, I should be cleaning something.
No,
but I told Bobby, I was like, dude, chill out, man. It's cool. I'll do it later.
But I am a productive person. Like, my dad works all day, every day. He never stops. Right now he's wrenching something. Right now he's 75 years old. He's at 75 years old. He pulls off. Yesterday he come out here, changed the air sensor in my son's Volkswagen in the back tire. He pulls out drive shafts, cams. He's out there soldering pipe. Huh?
He's a car guy.
No, he's an everything guy. There's nothing my dad can't do. My dad can build this building to spec, to code, and he can pull an engine out of a car and pull out the crank and cams and put it back together and make it work. And he taught me most of that. Like, I pretty much do everything on my vehicles.
So me and Brenden talk a lot about you. Like, I don't know if anybody's. I think. Well, so I'm a dog handler, right? And if you can read a dog, you can definitely read a human being. Like, if you can read a dog, like if he's sad, emotional, they don't have a lot of facial expressions. You can definitely read a human. So I don't know if anybody's. You wear your emotions on your sleeve.
I know.
I can tell. Like I can tell when Bobby's in a bad mood during class. Like those times those kids were acting a fool. Like it's like my dad's about to hit my mom. Like he's about to pop. Like he's ready to go. And then sure shit had happened. But I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I think that's a great thing. But I can always tell when Bobby's in a bad mood. Yeah.
I know. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. But at the end of the night, I love everybody, and I love being around people, and just let me clean and I'll be good. And like the biggest thing is, if your kids are at someone else's house, and I'm not saying this at anyone in direct, I'm just saying it at everyone. Just be mindful of that, whether it's your house or my house or whatever, because kids go around. Like I'll watch. I'm just like, bro. What I'm seeing is like, I see the fight going on, but right here on the side, I'm watching a kid like eat a chicken, then he's just putting his hands on the couch, and then he just goes out on the mats and doesn't even clean, doesn't even go to the bathroom, doesn't want. And I'm just like, oh my God. And I gotta track. See, I won't be good. I can't ignore that. Now, everywhere I didn't see that he went, I have to walk around the next day and look and see if I can. I'm like, where could he have touched? Where could she have touched? I'm anal. I'm absolutely freaking.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like my mom's like that. She'll come over. I love when mom comes over because my house is clean. Like, and everybody's like, hey, Daisy, that's my mom's name, Daisy. Like, relax, calm down. But she can't. Like, that's her thing. She wants to do the laundry. She wants to clean the rooms.
It feels so good when the house is clean, though. Like,
it's great.
Chin, Bobby's wife was telling me, I think yesterday during class, right before class started. She was like, "Your house is really clean." And I was like, "Yeah, thank you." Like, but it's not. Like in my mind, it's not clean, and because I hate cleaning. I'm not like you. I fucking hate cleaning, but I do it because I hate dirt and being nasty.
Yeah, what would
and unorganized
Yeah.
worse. So when it's all said and done, God, it feels so good.
Yeah, it's like that's why I like hotels because they're always clean. You know, you come back.
I need to get a
clean.
wife because I fucking hate cleaning. I need some help.
Well, even
Any
not just
volunteers
that,
out there want to marry me? Just
like
clean my
your
house.
school. I haven't been training other places, but I've been other places for whatever reason. Man, this school is literally gorgeous. Like the mats, the monkey bars, everything looks great. Like who wouldn't want to train here? I go to the other gyms, like their mats are like the size of this table, and it looks dirty. Like that. Like I think black mats are weird because you can see everything. I hate it, but these mats are great. Like I mean, this is a nice place. And
super clean.
And I think the price is great. You know, you should check it out. Xequemate. Great price.
Check
great
us
move.
out. Everybody here is cool as shit. I try to reach out to my friends, and but they're pussies. They don't want to come in. I'm like, dude, just come in.
I told
just
you.
Come in. You don't have to have a gi.
My father-in-law's thinking about like coming just to learn stuff. Like it.
What people don't understand is that they don't have to do everything. You don't. It's like if you come in and you see. We don't do calisthenics. I think if you want to be an athlete, that's great. Be an athlete on your own time. I think it's the benefit it gives you is so nominal. It's there, but it is nominal. And I think that I'd rather have someone there training that just goes, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But did you learn 10 things this month? Great, man. You're way better than you were last month. Did you spar? No. But did you actually do the moves? Is there a possibility it might save your life? Yeah. If you're happy, I'm happy. That's the way I see it. Yeah. We've got guys out there who are there to, more camaraderie than anything and maybe learn a little bit of self-defense. But then we got some guys like Jason and you guys are definitely leading the white belt front who are beasts, man. You guys are.
Are you?
Are you proud of us?
Are you proud of us?
Yeah, man.
No lie.
Like no, for real.
Yeah.
He's gonna lie. He's lying.
No, I wouldn't lie.
You
can read a face. I'm proud, man. Proud.
I love this place.
We pay to be your friend.
Yeah.
But
it is awkward. That's awkward, I try to. Yeah, that's always an awkward thing. I don't like being a businessman.
It's a business first, but
no, you know what? I'm gonna stop you right there.
I try to make it not be a business.
It's not even that. So me and Wyatt were talking about this. Like the idea of paying for CrossFit is dumb because you can I have my own little setup in my gym, a year membership paid for that gym, right? But you can't do that in jiu-jitsu, right? You can't. I mean, I guess you can get a blow-up doll and practice moves or something, but you're not really. I don't see this as me paying you.
I cover my overhead. That's all I cover.
Well, no, what I'm trying to say is you're paying to wrestle with other people. Like you really are. Like you're training to grapple with other guys or girls, and that's how you're getting better.
You're also renting the facility and the bathrooms,
the AC,
all the bars, the bags, all the it's all. And I don't think you could do that for.
And that's what I hate. Like people, I hate people that they get angry that you go to a restaurant and you spend $30 on a steak. Well, that steak is paying for the light, the waitress, the waiter, the people in the back, the lease of the building. Like that has a lot of overhead. So to say to people, I don't know. I'm getting on a rant right now, but it's
part of life.
You have to pay for stuff you want to do. I get it. Maybe some people can't afford it, which I think is ridiculous. Just don't go drinking. If you really want to get better at athleticism, because I think my cardio's gotten 1,000 times better compared to CrossFit. Bro. I have gained weight because I'm not working out as hard because this drains you. But the same thing, I think I've gotten stronger, more in the functional strength opposed to lifting weights.
That's what I'm
saying. So your functional strength,
no question. Yeah,
it's definitely gotten stronger. And my confidence, I feel way more confident. If I ever got when I was working in law enforcement, I knew if I knew for sure if this guy didn't have cauliflower ear, I was good. I got a little bit right here.
I noticed that. I was
it's getting worse, right?
It's getting a little poofy.
Well, I like it.
I was like, congratulations, bro.
It's getting there. Maybe one day you'll get it.
You're growing up.
I'm trying to.
I've got big fucking ears and lobes. Can you get?
I've never noticed your. I don't think so. I don't think that works.
Nah, we'll see.
But I like this place.
No, this place is awesome. I don't look at it as.
I've only got a 60% chance of kicking your ass. I don't have that 100.
I
got a 60%.
All right. So, I dabbled in the Navy things. Tell me about your Navy career, real quick.
I was in for over 11 years. It was mainly in the law enforcement side of the house. I did a little bit of expeditionary. It was just kind of like the combat version, but not really. After that, I got into dog handling, which I fell in love with, and I was a dog handler. I got to see a lot of the world, all over Africa. I went to Asia, I went to Europe. Didn't get to mess around in South Africa or Central America. It was mainly that side of the globe. No, I'm joking. And no, it was fun. I loved it. I loved everything about it. I got my degree out of there.
A lot of benefits.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service, by the way.
Well, thank you for your service. And Bobby, too. He's a veteran.
That's right. Air Force.
That's right. We
Chair
can't
Force.
blame him
Chair
for
Force.
that, you know, whatever. But no, and then I met my wife. You know, I met my wife because of the Navy. Because I wouldn't be in Jacksonville if it wasn't for the Navy. I was able to meet my wife.
So you didn't meet her here locally?
I did meet her here locally.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I finished here and I was like, I'm done.
So dog handler, and you've got a cool ass dog at home.
Yeah, I was able to adopt
He's
him.
a retiree working dog.
Yeah, I was able to adopt him. He had hip problems, which I don't see anymore. Like he no bullshit. So my father-in-law lives next to our house. We're playing cornhole. He's in my backyard just loose. He sees the beanbags going back and forth
on the other side of the fence.
He cleared the 6-foot fence. Like he jumped. He didn't hurdle it, but he climbed like muscle up, threw his paw over, and like all the little kids started running, freaking out because he was pretty aggressive. He was a very aggressive dog. They were going to euthanize him because like they couldn't just give him away. So I'll volunteer. I'll take him home with me.
And his name?
Denzo.
That's right.
Yeah.
We should rename him.
No, that's a great name.
Denzo.
It's like bulldozer. It sounds like you saw him yesterday. Like you wouldn't even think he was an attack dog, which he is. But he's mellowed out. He's great. He's great with my kids.
That's pretty dope. You got an attack dog in your house. Someone comes in your house and he's gonna rip their arm off.
Watch him. He did that to me last night. Like Kalani, my daughter, and if you go back and watch some episodes, she's legit. He put the dog training sleeve on her arm, and she got to play around with.
Yeah, he bit the sleeve.
He bit the sleeve.
Which and then it is a great, but it's scary too because like dogs have personalities. Like if they're in a bad mood, like so we went for a walk one day. He has bad hips, right? So we're all walking. My daughter grabs his tail. Just being a 7-year-old. Luckily, I was kind of paying attention. Denzel spun around and went to bite, and then I pulled him away. So like, yeah, it's cool having an attack dog, but it's also, man, you have an attack dog. It's like having a loaded gun around the house.
Yeah,
it's
with emotions. But he like you saw, he's super submissive to me. Like
he is. Yeah, you're the alpha. He's like he's a hangry black belt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then it's hilarious. The minute I leave the house, he becomes in charge, and my wife has like no control. He's got to like bait him with food. Like the first day he jumped on our dinner table, and my wife was like down, so he just lay down.
He laid down.
He laid down. And my wife set me up. I don't know what to do. Like I don't give him a treat. I don't know. Get him
when you were getting the sleeve, I was like messing around, holding. I had his leash and got him to roll over and lay down and sit.
You have that leash is like having the power. Like he respects the leash.
He's such a badass dog.
He's great. Yeah, I like him.
Like you're very fortunate, bro. Like
absolutely.
He's a cool ass dog. We wanted to bring him, but we're not gonna bring him to dojo.
Kill all those little kids. We should bring them.
Fucking brown eaters. Watch them.
That would be cool to have a dog though here when you haven't, because then it'd just be like vacuum cleaning the whole time shit's going on.
That's what my
like lapping up all the fucking little shit.
Dude,
that's my house. I literally have my vacuum cleaner plugged in 24/7 because I'll come in, I'll walk by the foyer, immediately get the hose, start vacuuming. Because I have 2 dogs and it's annoying. My wife's
downside
dog.
though is the fucking hair.
That's what we're talking about. The fur.
Shedding.
Yeah. See, Denzel looks like he's got thin or fine hair, but he doesn't.
He's cool. What's the other dog? What's
Daisy.
Daisy.
That's my wife's dog. I got her for her birthday.
But you named him after your mom's
my mom,
name.
because I love my mom. Well, Daisy's like the best dog name in the world.
Whoa,
think
you
about
named
it.
your dog after your mom.
I got my mom's permission. I was like, Mom, would you mind if we named our dog? Her middle name is Daisy. Her name is Esther. She goes by Daisy.
Bless her heart. Hope I meet
Love
you
her.
next. That's
She'll be here Friday.
Second mom.
I think she'll come to the comps. We'll meet her.
What comp?
Next week's comp, the new breed.
I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
I'm fighting the guy that beat me last time again. We'll see what happens.
Dude, this guy that beat him was like special forces. He parachuted in to the match.
He really did.
It was interesting.
Halo jumped.
No.
He was legit. No, I'm not gonna say anything.
No.
I'm not scared.
Yeah, just don't let size intimidate you at all. It's so nominal. Like you're big enough that you can handle that.
I see you kind of roll your eyes at me every time I talk about size because I can read emotions. But like to me, it's like that intimidates me more.
It's an advantage he has. It's an advantage you have, and honestly, that's that takes a lot of time to learn how to deal with.
Yeah.
You know?
And he's muscle. But look what Hoist did to Ken Shamrock.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
You know what I'm saying?
I understand. Like, if you give me a test and the question is, does size matter? I'm gonna put no.
Yeah.
Well,
but I just don't believe it.
It does.
Big
matter.
dick
Yeah.
strength. I mean,
Less.
the size matters.
Well, like I know I'm stronger than Jason. I'm stronger than Bobby. But I mean, they're gonna whip my ass 10 out of 10 times if they want to. I mean, I know that, but it's still kind of scary.
I'm stronger than the Ripper, and
Henry.
She's caught me in an RNC.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Like
Nikki.
they didn't even know it was coming. And I'm like, fuck, I can't breathe. And yeah, so shout out to Joan the Ripper for tapping me out.
Nikki was like 17-year-old girl. Now she's 18, but when I started rolling, she was 17. She was whooping my ass. I never thought that would happen.
Nikki is.
She's a fucking sweetheart too.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
She doesn't even have to
Such
be.
a
She
good
just
kid.
be mean.
Dude, after everybody left from the quintet, she stayed back and just did dishes, and I was picking up shit around the house. I was like, you can leave, I'll take care of it. She's like, when this is done.
If she were and she's pretty serious. She's pretty serious. She's here enough.
I wish Conor
But
was
she
serious.
could be just an absolute champion. She could hang with anyone. And man, if she wanted to go into MMA, god dang. Because have you seen her kick the bag? That whole damn rack just goes.
No.
You haven't?
No. Just maybe
She could
just playing
kick
around.
me in the head and probably knock me over, just off my feet. Like
Lights
she's
out.
got. You see, first off, you've seen how flexible she is. No problem.
Yeah.
Just kick you in the head, and then you've seen her core. She is. That's what MMA. That's like anyone I've talked to that's in MMA. That's like for a living. Core is the most important thing. Like that is. She's built for fighting. She is a genetically. She is designed for fighting.
No, I agree. Like when I roll
And
with
she
her,
has the aggression.
Yeah, I like rolling with her. I don't think I'm getting a lot of benefit from it, but I know she is because like when we saw her compete in that last competition, she killed it, and I feel like I hope I had a little bit of help into it because when I roll with her, like I am using all my weight, I am using all my size. So if she could take me, I know she can take a girl her size, her weight class, no problem. So like I feel like it's my responsibility like for her to kick my ass. Because she knows, like, well, if I can kick this guy that weighs 225 pounds, I know I can beat this girl.
Like any coach would be super lucky. Like if you're a coach or a professor, or, instructor, teacher, school owner, to get someone like Nikki as a student, you're like that. You're lucky, right? Like I'm fortunate from that standpoint. Like she's not going to be outgunned physically. I don't have to worry about that. Like she's the top of the match right there. And that's why I roll with her as much as I do, is because of what she can become, and she is becoming, right? Like I'm just like bleeding all my technique into her, everything. Like she, and quite honestly, I've rolled with her so much that she knows exactly how I move. She's as tough as Jason for me. Like honestly, because she understands my game, right? Like we've rolled hundreds of hours together probably, and she knows everything I'm going to do. She can predict me, and that's pretty awesome because she can at least predict one black belt. She moves good. She moves really good.
How many black belts have you given?
None.
One.
No, where is Bobby, right?
Bobby, right?
Yeah, Bobby earned it. He's I think he's 59 or something. But technically, Luis gave it to him. I didn't give it to him, but I can't give a black belt. I'm not second.
I was just gonna ask how that works. So
you have to be by IBJJF. You have to be a second degree before you can give out. Before you can give out a black belt. But Bobby started training in like the 90s or something, somewhere around there. And then we trained together in 2003, 2004 under Larry Sheely. And then he started training with me again in 2010 or 11. And he was there every single day. He was retired, and he never missed a class. He was the most consistent student I had for 5 years, and he still hasn't stopped training. He still trains today, every time he's off. So,
he's here more than
and
Henry.
his
Henry, just fucking with you.
His chokes are legit, man.
Yeah.
And his control's legit. He's legit, man. Look at for his size and his age and even leaving those out. Just roll with the guy, dude. He's legit. He earned it. He represents the black belt well.
he definitely has a lot of knowledge. He taught me like you guys know my favorite thing is the Ezekiel, especially when you have me in your guard. He taught me how to use the Ezekiel from rear, oh my god, I never would have thought of this. Like he's definitely. He's legit. I feel bad for the perps that run away from him.
Yeah,
bad boys. What you
represents-
gonna do?
And I think Yeah, like I wonder who'll be the next. I wonder. I don't think I have. I've only got one. I think. Oh, I've got 2 brown belts.
You got Henry and Jason.
Jason's a purple. I got.
No, the other Jason, Judo Jason.
Oh yeah. Well, technically, I did give him his brown belt. So I got 3 brown belts. I got Henry and Jason and Amir Mullik.
I don't know what that is.
I haven't met him yet.
Amir's in Germany.
He's in Germany, okay.
And I've given him every stripe and belt, and he's well into his brown belt.
Is he teaching out there, or?
He trains out there at Ramstein Air Force Base, and he's.
Oh, he's military?
No, his dad's
okay.
like a nurse, head of nursing or something, but a contractor. But he's there. He's getting ready to open a restaurant like Taco Lu. He's basically taking Taco Lu. He's already designed the logo and everything. He's basically opening his version of a Taco Lu.
Well, hell yeah.
Ramstein.
In Germany. And Amir's a beast, man. He's legit. His game is solid. He's a solid representation.
Send us a check.
Yeah.
He's came out here and stayed with me a few times. We're hoping to, if he doesn't visit here in the next 6 months, I'll visit him for sure. We're planning. Me and Renard are planning on going to Europe. Hopefully with Luis and Pedro, that'd be cool. But if not, we'll just go out there and visit some schools and hopefully give some seminars. Renard and I gave some seminars, and it was all well received because we have 2 totally different styles. And I would do the leg game and he would do the upper body game, and we'd just split the seminar. It's pretty cool.
I like Renard. Come to the association, the Lewis Power Association.
Yeah, well, that's when I was like, I was working, and then I didn't know about the patch thing. I didn't own a Wiki yet.
Either way, okay.
Next time I'll be ready. I'll do it now. I'll get it ready now.
We'll get you there.
Yeah.
We'll get you there.
I'll have to go next time.
So if you're listening, we're talking about, obviously the names we bring up is people that train with us. But if you come to the association meeting, Renard was there, legit. Dude, I was Azuki. He did the Captain Morgan on me. I was really new, and he smashed me. But the guy's legit. Super nice guy. Knows his shit. Has his own school, right?
Yeah, he's made UFC fighters. At least 1, maybe 2. I know he's coached at the UFC. He's had at least one of his fighters out there. He's good.
I have a question for you, Bobby. So I got just a 2-part question. One,
how big is it? No, I'm just
no. So I get like the rules about promoting, like time in, classes attended, and now you added this little stipulation about competing. What else do you look for when it comes to promotions, and like, do you hesitate sometimes?
But everyone's different.
No,
what
do you look at?
One of the things I added in, I used to just go on skill, right? And I had this loose kind of, well, do they meet? Is it 1 year to blue belt or 10 months? At least 10 months. Now I go by I added in the IBJJF requirement, so you have to meet the minimum time for the IBJJF, and then I didn't just do the time. So I went on the IBJJF website and I said, all right, well, if you have to have 2 years, I kind of said, what's full-time training for 2 years? Yeah. Well, for me, it's a minimum of 3 days a week. You're not full-time if you're not doing 3 days a week. So I said, okay, I multiplied that, 52 weeks times 3 times 3, or 52 weeks times 3, sorry, or times 3 years times 3 days a week, right? So
does black belt come out to 666?
So I have the minimum amount of classes for every belt. I've added that in. But another thing that I need to see, if you're young and strong and healthy, if you meet those 3 requirements, if you're young and strong and healthy, is I need to see clear domination of your current belt. So if you're a white belt, I need to see you clearly dominate. This is me. This is my jiu-jitsu. I don't care if you agree with it, if you're an instructor somewhere else, but it's my choice. It's my jiu-jitsu.
Represent Xequemate.
You need to have clear, if you're young and healthy and strong, you need to have clear domination of similar build guys, right? Because if you can dominate someone, that's really the sign that you've moved to the next level, right? Purple belts are supposed to beat blue belts. Blue belts are supposed to be white belts. So when I would arguably promote someone, I don't always stay to that. Like, Jason started dominating white belts early. I promoted him early, but he was clearly just like, he was massacring white belts. It wasn't fair. It wasn't fair to let someone, consider him a white belt. And then he started massacring blue belts. And honestly, he's only got like a year and a half. The dude, he's only 2.5 years in, but a year of that's been out to shore. He's only grappled for like a year and a half.
BJ Penn was a black belt in 3 years. Man.
Yeah. Well, Jason could be that. Well, in 5 years anyway. Like Jason, I consider Jason the prodigy. He's
that's BJ Penn.
A lot of pressure.
In my school, if you can reuse names, Jason would be the prodigy. He is the he brings back stuff that I have a hard time comprehending, and I'm just like, shit, teach me the way. The dude's legit.
And what I figure out, you said we talked about him before, and you were saying like he's super smart, picks up stuff really quickly, and is able to show it. When talking to Jason, it's not just that. He goes over it and writes it down and puts down some notes and then tests himself on it. So it's one thing to understand it, but he puts in the time. And he learns it.
If I'd watch him go with a purple belt, right, and like beat a purple belt, like in another school or something, or in a competition, or if he lost to a purple belt or a brown belt, and that dude's like, I just beat that dude. I kind of want to go with like, he's only trained 1.5 years, right?
Yeah.
Right.
What are you, like 8-7 years? It's like the dude, he is a beast, and you can't take that from him. I don't care who you are. You can be a black belt and you can roll him. You're going to feel it. That dude, when you understand the amount of time he's actually trained, a tiny percent of people could make it to that level in that amount of time. Like Jason's one of those exceptional people. And
he's a great teacher.
Yeah.
We come in the morning classes, and I know you're not there.
We can all be great.
That's what I want to do. God, you don't know how bad.
We can.
I want to be able to teach. Like every time who can do? Bobby does this thing in class, right? Where it's like, all right, the lowest belt come up, and
I did pretty good the other day.
Shut up!
Right?
I'm not. Shut up! Let me finish. Respect the host.
Sorry,
bro.
sir.
So Bobby does this thing where he asks, all right, so how do you get out of the headlock, right? And lowest belt starts first, and you come up and you can demonstrate it, right? God, there's some, like, my gears start turning, and I think I know it.
But
and I want to go up there, but
I started doing that because if it were me, I'd just teach fundamentals. I would just teach fundamentals, and the problem is people don't want fundamentals. They're like, they want the best, the better thing. They want the more advanced thing that they can do. That's what they want. What they don't realize is it's no better. Like you won't accept it. You'll say you get it, but you really won't. And then what you realize is if you just had mastery of the fundamentals, you'd start grasping different things. Like different math would start making sense. You'd like, you really have to focus on, and everyone said it, and I wish I could tell you something new. You have to master the fundamentals, and then shit will start exploding around that. What people don't realize is Jason has mastery of the fundamentals. That's why he can comprehend these things beyond that. So I know when I would teach things, people are like, I already know this. That's what immediately if I go, hey guys, we're gonna do headlocks from standing today. Everyone's like, man, we've done this 10 fucking times, right? I know that's what goes through your head.
No, prove it.
But then,
prove it though. Show it.
He's right. Because I remember like
he's absolutely
this
right.
is weird. Like, because I remember like in the beginning, like I saw this. Why are we doing this again? Like I know there's a million things out there.
I know this, but go up there and teach it.
Well, it's not even that. It's like every time I see a different detail that I didn't see before, and it makes the move better. Like first, like, why isn't this working? And like, oh, because I didn't know this. And even that, like, that's why I like him in the kids class. Like, yeah, I'm helping you, but no, it's really helping me.
Yeah.
Like, what was it? The elbows escape. Like, I knew what it was, but the way you taught the kids, bro, it made sense. And then I used it when we were rolling 2 hours later.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely.
It's another reason Nikki grows so much is because he sees me teach these fundamental things that I've learned over time again and again and again and again. But that was the cool thing is that when I would go to teach the fundamentals, I had this thing where I'm like, I know what's going through everyone's head. No one wants to be there. They all regret coming that night. And then I'm like, okay, come teach it. And then no one can do one thing right. I'm like, bro, you can't even do the first move right. But we've already done this, right? It's like I teach you guys 10 times. It's not enough. It's not enough to teach it.
I agree.
You need to be able to teach it. Then you've done it enough. So when is it enough? It's like when you have total mastery of it, and you never have total mastery of it. We just need to keep working the fundamentals. And I do teach other things. Like for me, Friday nights are me teaching what I'm good at. I'm good at the truck. I'd say I have some degree of mastery of the truck.
The truck was fun.
Yeah, I do love the truck. I love it. I started it in 2009. I started every iteration, every. I love the truck. I truck the shit out of people. I love the twister. I'd love to, you know, I'm loyal to Luis. I think it would be cool to get to train with Eddie. You know, and pick his brain, because I've never got to pick anyone's brain about 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, right? But it works for me. Like Eddie's, I have that knee flexibility. I have the flexibility required to do his system. And I've been, you know, working on trying to learn rubber guard for the last 4 years. And
I was actually able to do it.
Yeah, I was surprised.
But it was something I realized with my body. Get a little higher, you know, put my feet in the dude's hips, push out a little bit, and boom, rubber guard, triangle. I'm getting fucking triangles now on littler guys. Like me and Alex, it'd be a little bit rougher. But I was working with the guys here, Bruce, and rubber guard, triangle. I'm like, fuck. I mean, to me, it makes me fucking happy. Like I get a fucking boner for it, because it's like we're you know, Bobby sometimes is like, bro, I mean, he's saying in the class, there's some things that you might not be able to do because your body type. Yeah. I got fat legs. I'm a big dude. But now I'm like, fuck, I'm going to try to triangle. I tried to triangle Bobby.
You know,
not going to fucking happen, but I tried.
One of the interesting things that I wanted to share, because I don't know how many people that will listen to this, but I thought it was a pretty cool realization, is I am a huge fan of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. Man, it is by far, in a way, my number one.
Come out here, Henner.
You know, for style, yeah. I'll follow.
Seminar, brother.
If he's on the East Coast, if he's on this side, if he's within 600 miles, I'm going to train with Heaton or Header, Hickson, Hoyler, Helson, Rodrigo, whoever. If it's, I don't
come
care.
Out here, Hiron.
That's my primary. But you know, it has this. One of the things you hear Heaton and Henner talk about is this three-way filter. You know, can it be done in the streets? Does it require special talent? And can you do it on someone bigger than you? I think those are the three. And I don't want to say there's a flaw with that, because I've never challenged them, and I'm not saying there's a flaw. But what if you do have a special ability? Are you missing things that would work very well for you? And
that's what you got to learn. That's what I feel like.
And what if you do fight someone smaller than you? Are you missing all these like some of the toughest role I have? One of the toughest roles I always want to roll with him, because it's Colin Taylor. His leg attacks are sick. He's like a jack. He's like, you can't stop a jack.
Yeah,
Car can't. I'm like a car trying to stop a jack. He just jacks his way up under me, and I love the fights with him.
He just competed.
But he's arguably smaller than me. You know, he's actually come up a little bit in size. But some of my tougher roles are smaller guys than me, and the mentality with Gracie Jiu-Jitsu is, I'm not going to teach this move to the masses because you got to be able to do it on someone bigger than you. But there are so many wrestling moves, or even moves outside of wrestling, or Sambo or whatever, that work really, really good against someone smaller. And why throw that out the window? Why not have that tool? That's a perfectly valid tool. Why throw the tool out because it didn't work on someone bigger? Not all opponents are bigger. And if I do have the flexibility for 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, it's a perfectly valid system. How do I know? Because I've tested it. It works great. I tap out all kinds of people with it. It's a great system. So if I have that ability, you do. So I think if I were given a recommendation to someone, it would be, number one, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu works for everybody. You're safe going down that road. All those techniques are going to work for everybody. And then, if you want to stack on top of that, and you want to build, you find someone with your body type that's really good, like the best guy you can find with your body type, and you start seeing what he does, because he's figured it out. He knows what his body type can do, right? Like if I had your size, I'd neon belly the shit out of everyone. And I've been doing that recently. I'm only 170, right? I'm like a sloppy 170. I got like 5 pounds or 10 pounds hanging around me that shouldn't be there. But
I had a dream you got fat.
But I start.
It's stupid.
Still kill me about it. Sorry, we'll talk about that later. It was a weird dream. I'm sorry. It's weird that I'm telling him dreaming about him.
Here's the thing. That's kind of gay. Now North and South is gonna be really weird.
Just don't beanbag me or snake me.
Fuck! You just threw my whole train off. What was I talking about?
Neon belly. Okay, we're talking about neon belly.
So
the snake.
So, oh yeah, no. What you said is like me getting fat. Here's the irony thing.
No, it's just your face. It was just your face.
I've got like the skinniest legs in the world. They're the skinniest, weakest, most pathetic legs given to humanity. And I've tried doing squats. I'm like sitting there doing the bar, and people are looking at me as like, that motherfucker doing the bar? Yeah, bitch, I'm doing the bar. I'm trying, okay? I'm trying to do a clean squat. Give me a break. But my knees want to explode out. I know, man, but it's the genetics I was given. And you know what? I love myself today. I don't care.
Oh, yeah.
I'm comfortable with it. But the funny thing is, if I put on any weight, it'll just go to my midsection. Like if I put on 40 pounds of I said, I'm just gonna eat. Like my legs wouldn't absorb 1 pound of that.
Just your belly.
It's all gonna go to my midsection. And I look like
I look like me?
No, I look like Mr. Potato. That's what I look like. I will turn into Mr. Potato. That's my genetics. I know my so I have to have a clean diet. I have to, and I have to roll every night. And jiu-jitsu is really good for me because without it, I would be a very funny looking dude. And the cool thing is, as we get older, we really don't care, you know.
Sorry, I dream about you.
It's funny that you say that. Like, you made a comment when you were at my house yesterday, like, because I was so much skinnier 3 or 4 years ago. Because I was married to my ex-wife, so
you're miserable.
I was miserable. But anyways, no. And then I was playing Fortnite with my son, and he overheard. He's like, something about six-pack. I don't have a six-pack anymore. And then
he made a funny comment.
My 11-year-old goes, those are try-hard muscles. That means you're just trying too hard. Who cares? He's like, damn straight. That's
Samuel,
right.
His boy Samuel.
And I'm way stronger than that dweeb was 3 years ago. Not my son, the old Alex.
The old Alex?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the best. That was the best explanation.
From an 11-year-old calling it a try-hard muscles.
He's like, who cares, bro? That's try-hard shit.
Yeah.
He was like, basically, that's try-hard shit.
Yeah.
Like,
he didn't say shit because he's 11, but yeah.
Oh, no, he doesn't cuss.
He doesn't cuss. It's weird.
You cuss.
I cuss. I'm a sailor.
No, he was like, that's try hard. Why are you even do that?
Yeah.
Bitches are just gonna love you.
He's right. It's true.
But one of the things you mentioned was, or I mentioned, one of us mentioned was neon belly.
Yeah.
And that's become a new thing for me. Like that's a recent, you know, in all my years of jiu-jitsu, I never cared to use neon belly as a submission.
Dude, that's my go-to right now.
Yeah,
I've just recently started enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it, and I don't want to hurt people,
mean,
You double neon belly me the other day.
No, what I do is I go from right to left. It's like,
so
you push the right away, and I just drop the left. You push the left, I drop the right. And then sometimes I'll go neon sternum, but sometimes I'll take that left and go neon neck. And I'm just like, you know, just like back and forth. And then when you start jump to the other side, and I'm loving neon belly right now.
Jason does it to me a lot.
But
both of you, I just pretend like it doesn't hurt, but it does.
I got Javon with the neon sternum. Well, yeah, like it was midsection. I didn't want it to be sternum, but it just landed that way.
Yeah. Was a 110-pound difference there?
Yeah, I tapped him. He's a purple belt. Legit tapped him. He was like, bro, I've never been tapped.
That's why he doesn't come anymore.
Neon belly. Yeah. And no, fucking Javon, if you're listening, bro, come back. I love you, bro. You're cool as shit. He's a busy schedule, but that was. But you know what's funny? Dude, Javon's cool shit. I invited him to the quintet. Yeah, I want to see him. I can't wait till he comes back to class. But like passing Jason's guard was more. To me, it was more of a compliment.
Because Javon's like Henry.
Javon's
like,
a small
I'm
guy.
calling you guys out. These guys have so much talent, and they start slacking. And you know, like someone who has a lot of talent that
slacks.
Well, Becky and Ryan slackers. But Becky,
Ryan tore me up.
If Becky trained as much as Nikki, she could be she would be a really good match for Nikki. Like she trains a fraction as much as Nikki, and granted, Nikki, you know, Nikki's all about it, but Becky has a lot of talent, man. Becky has a lot of talent for jiu-jitsu. I don't know if you guys.
I've only rolled with her once, and you know, obviously she's female, so I'm not gonna go. Ape on her, but she's good. She's got technique.
Yeah,
she's got me up in some things, and I had to get out of it. And that's what I like about going easier on people, rolling with the Ripper, rolling with Laura, rolling with the girls. Is like I don't have to just put all my weight on them and try to wear them out, you know, because I bring down my strength a little bit. But they get me in shit, and I was like, okay, now I gotta figure my way out of it. So it's helping my jiu-jitsu rolling with them, and I absolutely love it. I do, I enjoy it.
Honestly, like purple belts can beat black belts. Like if you're a purple belt, it means you're an advanced grappler. And I remember back in the day, I asked Hoyce like, what's the difference between a brown belt and a black belt? You know, like what? You know,
you've
how
mentioned
do you know?
that before, and
he just said the self-defense. He's like, you just need to look. It's just a demonstration of the self-defense. Like for him. at that time, you know, it was a matter. You've already got the skill. You've got at a brown belt. You're already, honestly, at a like a purple belt means you're a solid threat to a black belt. Like purple belts, you just watch 10th Planet. You watch that. There's purple belts in there beating black belts. It's good black belts. Like that's going to be really rare from a blue belt. Like up to like a 4-stripe white belt means you're going to you should maul the average untrained guy. That you should have a clear domination of an untrained guy. Okay. But now a blue belt is when you're beating trained guys, you know, with nominal training. But when you can beat a guy who will clearly beat an untrained guy, like that's the blue belt. The blue belt will beat the guy who can clearly beat the untrained guy, right? That's blue belt. And then purple belt, now you're advanced. Now you're beating the guy who's beating the guy who's beating the untrained guy, right? Like that's dope. And then the crazy thing is, like, as clear as that you know, that spectrum is from white and blue and brown, or white and blue and purple and brown and black, you have that same spectrum in black. You know, here I'm pretty arrogant about my jiu-jitsu sometimes. You know, like I think I could beat anyone. I think I could.
Whoa! You know, that's a little condescending, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Like my feelings. I'm getting a little shook. I'm
going to a humble place.
Okay, go humble. Please.
I'm going egotistical to a humble.
Okay.
You caught me here.
Okay, sorry.
Like, I would compete in more tournaments. I always got to throw this out there to kind of pump up my ego. Is that if my back were healthy, I would compete all the time. But the fact that I can roll with Pedro and I've got nothing for the guy, just nothing. Now, granted, he's like 15 years younger than me. He's like 20 pounds of muscle stronger than me. But nonetheless, those shouldn't be factors, right? I say all the time, strength isn't a factor. He's beating me with technique. You know, he's beating like that. It is what it is.
How's your shoulder? I'm sorry.
It's still weak. It's like 50%.
I'm more worried about your back when we roll than your shoulder.
I may need surgery. I'm going to give it like another month to maybe up to 6 months, but there's still something tore in there. There's something tore, and it hurts. And so, you know, one of my friends is a black belt. We were rolling, and he kind of jumped backwards, and all our weight hit our shoulders. And then what was really messed up is Pedro thought it was out. Pedro's like, I think it's out. I'm like, god dang. And so he put his feet on my, you know, one foot under my armpit and the other foot on my neck and started pulling and trying to, but it wasn't out. I had tore, like, I can't remember what they said I tore when I went to the ER that night, but he kept trying to pop it back in and it was just tearing it more. Right? He's like, just kept tearing it. And I'm like, he's like, is it in? I'm like, no, it's not in. He's like, is it still hurt? I'm like, yeah, it hurts. It still hurts. And he kept trying. I was waiting for the pain to go away. We were thinking it was going to pop back in. And also this bone was sticking up a whole lot. He's like, I'm like, he's like, yeah, that bone's really sticking up. So, and I went to and they're like, yeah, you just tore it, right? You know, tore it all apart. So I don't remember the things they said I tore, but it's still not healed. But I remember like the worst shape I was ever in when I fought in competition was when I fought one of the black belts I used to train with here named Bill. And I've got that match. I never really put any of the matches out there. I've never shared them on my Facebook or anything. I don't want to be disrespectful to all the people that I've competed against.
Because you won. Like, is that disrespectful? Is that what you're in?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I never have posted them on Facebook. I've fought a lot of black belt matches, or I think enough. You know,
none of your competitions are out there?
I put them on YouTube, but I don't put their names on them, and I don't put them on Facebook because we share mutual friends. So, like, it's kind of out there if you search for me, but I don't want to put it on our Facebook because I don't want to disrespect me. You know, it's kind of like, for me, that's okay. It's like, but I've never. I don't want to say never. I shouldn't say that. I got to retract that statement. I try to refrain. I try to refrain from putting those matches on Facebook, but they're on YouTube.
Gotcha.
But there have been a handful of occasions. But going back, man, when I look at this video and I fought, you know, Bill, who's a great black belt. my back was fucked. It was fucked, and I can't even walk. You see me like I'm like stepping like there. It looks like what it looks like is someone took a broomstick and shoved it from my ass to my neck. And I'm like
hot.
I'm like I know.
Like I got a little excited.
I can't move. That's what I'm walking. Like you see it, you're like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? I'm like, my back was broken. I'm like, but I knew if I could get to the ground, I could use the ground as a crutch. Like the moment I get to the ground, relief. I'm like, oh, I'm on the ground. I'm like, okay, cool. Now I can. But I am giving up the 300. I don't enjoy the same 360 degrees of mobility I used to have. I can't. That's not a luxury I have. I've got to stay with positions that can support my back. So it's an interesting way of rolling, but I think it's a nominal. Like I'd never blame it for losing a match. I think everyone has disabilities. I think we all do, but. As long as I can get to the ground without an injury, I'm happy. And then I feel.
There's nothing wrong with starting on the ground. Like you saw some butt scooters on Quintet.
Yeah. But I hear
Craig Jones went straight to his ass.
Yeah. But our lineage, I'll hear my professor, and his, our lineage really knocks it. They do. They're like they think it's kind of bitchy, kind of a bitchy way to not have that fight. And I'm just like,
I think it's a little bit. I think a takedown game is important. Like you wouldn't do that in a street fight. Like just sit down immediately.
Right.
I think takedown's important.
But pulling guard. Like, I don't see why that's
pulling
such a
guard.
bad
I don't think
thing.
it's as bad because you can do that in the street. Like,
see, in the street, I wouldn't have any problem with it because I'd be like so confident that they're not gonna beat my limited judo. I'd just be like, I know I'm gonna get this, or I'd run. But in a jiu-jitsu match, you're agreeing to have a judo fight essentially. You're agreeing to fight for the slam. And if I lose that can be the end of the match for me. That absolutely that can very legitimately be the end of the match. So I can't have that fight. I can't fight you standing. And I trained judo with John Figa, and I trained judo in the Philippines with the Paja back when my back was healthy. And I used to train judo, but I can't. And I spent 3 years training with Mike DiBartolo. A lot of people don't know that. Really, probably the best wrestler to come out of Jacksonville, if you ask me. But for 3 years, we trained together every day.
Taking selfies over there, bro.
Bro, podcast.
Clown.
I just burned my hand on the candle. I'm listening, bro. Shut up.
Where else? Did we have time to go anywhere else? Is there any conspiracies we didn't touch on, or any jiu-jitsu
anything you want to talk about before we close it up?
I don't know.
This was a good episode. Obviously we have a good time here.
Well, yeah.
I thought it was a really good episode. We talked about some cool subjects. We only went about 80% full flat hard. It was
and we
I don't even think it was 80%.
We only went like 10% homo. I was planning on going a lot more gay.
Maybe my second.
And listen,
you gotta ease in.
You gotta ease in. But look, there's all these big words out there: homophobism or
photosynthesis,
sexism. Listen, I'm stupid. Like if you can comment on YouTube and bash me. But I am who I am.
Dude, I gotta tell you, I'm gonna share one story real quick because those y'all don't. I love saying I've lived in the Philippines 2 years. It was pretty cool. It's like arguably the best 2 years of my life because I was single for most of that. But I was teaching jiu-jitsu at Dos Pares, which is cool because if you're into Filipino martial arts, Dos Pares is like the Gracie Academy of stick fighting. But I was started a little thing I called Gracie Cebu, and it was under Hoist and. Was teaching there for a while, and I had these students under me that were coming from other countries, because they'd come to train stick fighting, but they'd also train jiu-jitsu. So like some of them came just for jiu-jitsu. Had a lot of Filipinos training under me jiu-jitsu. I was training with this one guy who's from Austria, and we're out. We get a date with some girls, right? Like these two girls, me and him, we're at a table, we're having some coffee, and if you live in the Philippines, the conversation of lady boys is going to come up, right? That's the Filipino term for transsexual or whatever. So one of the girls we're having coffee with goes, have you ever been with a lady boy? And homeboy beside me just goes, I tried it. It wasn't for me. And I was just like, holy shit. I was like, it's cool. Yeah, it's cool.
You gotta at least try it once, I guess.
Listen, man.
How do you know?
How do you know if you don't try it?
Exactly.
You try it like you're
I don't like licorice because I tried licorice. You know what I'm saying?
I don't like black licorice. I wasn't ready for that.
I wasn't ready for that. I was like, damn, dude.
Bro,
so
Tubuku, bro.
Just don't throw that out there, man.
No, I know I'm definitely not gay. Like, I know that For sure.
How do you know you're not gay? I tried it, bro.
I tried it, bro. It just wasn't for me.
Don't like it.
Great.
The moment I latched on, I knew. I knew.
Oh,
it just
God.
didn't feel right.
Man. But if you were and you're training jiu-jitsu, bro. You
That's
know,
legit. I don't care.
cuddle karate. You're enjoying it.
Cuddle
A little
karate.
bit more than
Okay.
like I'm learning technique. You're matter of fact. Okay, last story. The one competition, you like. It was
The last one?
the last comp, right?
Yeah.
The guy that his dad obviously wanted him to compete, and he just like you barely pushed him, and he like fell over and fell into your crotch.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
I got a video. I'll show you what I'm talking about.
That's when I got the queso on him.
Did you get the queso?
Yeah.
I don't know. He was super happy, and
I felt like, I don't want to fight this guy.
oh, such a good time. All right, so thanks for- hit that subscribe button. Punch that thumbs
Checkmate.
up. Checkmate. Come check us out. You know, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
It's spelled weird. So if you try to Google us, it was like 3 months before I knew what we were called. Like
First day I was here, I
Xequemate.
asked. Yeah, the first day.
I wouldn't ask, and then it just felt like the longer I waited, the weirder it was gonna
Oh,
get.
hold on.
Checkmate. Spelled.
30 seconds. So Mike DeBartolo, go back to him real quick. One of the toughest guys I ever trained with. We trained together a couple of years. D1 wrestler who did some MMA fighting, and he trained with me up until the point that he started ATT Jacksonville, which is kind of a big deal. You know, it's like so being a good friend of his, I went and visited him at his school once, and his school was thriving. He had a ring and had just dudes all over the place, fucking drowning in sweat. You know, these are the guys that are aspiring to be, champions, right? And I go in and he introduces me to everyone. He goes, "Hey, everybody!" Now, me and Mike hadn't talked about my school since he started his, and apparently he didn't know how to say the name, and I didn't know it. But I go in there, he goes, "Hey, everybody! I want everyone to stop. I want everyone to meet my jiu-jitsu instructor, the guy that kind of taught me everything, And he's like, "This is Bobby Thompson. He's the owner of Xequemate." And I can understand XEQU exec, and I was like, damn, he just turned me into geriatric jiu-jitsu. Like, Xequemate. And I'm like, he goes, yeah, it's the owner of Xequemate Jiu-Jitsu. I'm like, Xequemate, when you get older, guys, come on out.
It is executive jiu-jitsu. It
Yeah.
is for
Xequemate.
younger, older.
So you'll remember the name with that story, Xequemate. Or
Pronounced checkmate, spelled Xequemate.
more properly in Portuguese, Xequemate. At least that's what I was told.
XMBJJ.com.
Yep, that's it.
All right. We'll see you next episode.
See you guys. Take care.
Bye.